Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope!
I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man.
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! 1, 2, 3! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down,
Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Morning, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well today. Phil Elson and Matt Travis and Matt Jones with you for the next 3 hours on halftime. Good to have you alongside for a bright and sunny Tuesday morning up on the hill. Before we get everything going, condolences are certainly owed to Chris Smith and his family. Well, his family. Chris Smith passed away yesterday at age 31. Had a really good career at Arkansas, good NFL career, and unfortunately, we don't know what happened. Read in the Salisbury Post near his hometown in North Carolina that there were no details for what happened to him, but it's obviously an unfortunate and very untimely passing at the age of 31. It's trying to make a comeback in the XFL, and I don't know what it is that happened. I don't think that's been reported at all. So, very sad news that I know has been talked about this morning already. A Razorback great, and Chris Smith certainly was that. Had a couple of years where he teamed up with Trey Flowers for some just big-time sack numbers. Not the best years for Arkansas in terms of wins and losses. They put up some sacks, and, of course, Flowers already has had himself a very good NFL career, and Chris Smith unable to make the comeback that he was hoping for. So tough to start the show with on a note like that, but that is where we start the show today. Let me say hi to the guys, Matt Travis, Matt Jones. How's everyone doing this morning?
Doing good here, Phil.
Doing
good.
well.
Good to hear from you, Matty. Matt Jones, yeah, you too.
Yes, sir. I'm glad to be here today.
You got a streak going on of that green hat ever since I handed you that green Razorback hat from the St. Patrick's Day. You wear it every time I see you now.
Well,
is it just for the show, or will you wear it the rest of the day in the afternoon?
It's my golfing hat. This is the hat I've been wearing to the golf course, so it's just kind of been going on. But no, I appreciate it, Phil. This is pretty first Razorback hat I've had in a while, man. I dig it.
Green for good luck, or green because of the greens on a golf course?
There you go. Get your GIRs up. Got to play right, man. I'm not any good at golf. It's fun to do it. It's fun to go out there and play, have a good time, get some exercise, burn 400 calories,
and hit them straight and narrow.
Well, yeah.
If you can. So you got a baseball game tonight, 6:00 against UCA, and I wanted to kick around. Well, I want your memories of Chris Smith as we go throughout the show. Chuck Barrett joins us in a little bit, and I know he's got some memories of Chris Smith. He was a guy who came from North Carolina to play at Arkansas, and 877-377-6963 if you wanted to talk about that. But we'll start more or less with this. We've been waiting on announcements from players for the Arkansas men's basketball team. And I guess announcement, is that the right word to use in a lot of cases? Because these are posts on social media that can be anything like 5 or 6 different paragraphs that always say the same thing. They end up with that said, and I respect my decision and God's plan.
Yeah.
They're announcements, right? But they're videos at the same time. And, man, this Jordan Walsh video that he put out yesterday, because he's one of the, 2 guys that we're waiting for any kind of communication. The other being Mekhi Mitchell. I feel like Barry Dunning Jr. was he sent a photo out of him inside Bud Walton Arena. It apparently didn't really mean anything. It was just him inside a basketball arena. Darian Ford's dad and Darian have tweeted out photos of him in an Arkansas uniform. I don't know if you call that an announcement, but I saw the tweet yesterday from Jordan Walsh, Matt, and the tweet is a simple one word attached to a video. The word is decision. The video doesn't show that he's making a decision. In fact, it's almost like it's like an avant-garde 30-second clip that I don't think says anything.
It's just all smoke and mirrors. Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah. I when I saw it, it looked. I mean, he was wearing his Razorback, his get up. It just made me think that everybody thinks they're a producer or It's just all. It's like, man, are we playing basketball or are we trying to have a movie career? What are we doing, guys? It's like I don't know. It's we're either playing. We know by now. We're either playing. I mean, he's the starting power forward for the University of Arkansas. What's there to decide? Like if he comes, he's our starting power. How cool is that? What are you going to go not play at all in the NBA? You're going to go not play. So it's not that hard of a decision.
Well, so for those who haven't seen the video, it's got this kind of a melodramatic musical background, and then you see Jordan wearing it's a Razorback sweatshirt with the front-facing Hog logo on the front, and on the back it's got a basketball that has Jordan Walsh's name on it and his number on it. But I don't think he's not inside Bud Walton Arena. In fact, I think that was Fayetteville High School.
Yeah, it looked like an IMG academy, like black and gray or something. It looked like some type of academy or something.
So he's in a high school gym. I think it was right. I think it's next door to the university.
Yeah,
that's Fayetteville High School. I think that's where this was filmed, and all he does is just walk onto a basketball court and stare at a rim, and that's it. And it says decision without letting anybody know what it is. It's up to us to decide what it means. So it's like trying to figure out some kind of a like a weird film.
Anytime you can just video record somebody walking in slow motion like Reservoir Dogs, I'm all for it. That you're 17 times cooler when you're walking like Reservoir Dogs. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, but the soundtrack to Reservoir Dogs was a lot better than this
fair
soundtrack.
Fair enough.
And it was watchable for an hour and 30 minutes and had some memorable lines. There wasn't really too much memorable about this. Oh, I'm being told that this was not at Fayetteville High School, that this was filmed at a gym in Texas.
There you go. Yeah.
So, all right. So he's not on campus. If that's filmed at a gym in Texas, I don't know what to make of this.
These kids don't go to class anymore, do they? Like there's the student part of the student athlete's not a thing. They're just all over the. Nick Smith is going out to L.A. every other weekend or doing whatever. Everybody just doing what their thing. They don't even have to go to school.
What is there to go to class for if you declare for the NBA draft, right? If you're going to go pro, what's there to go to class for?
Man, I hate it for – I say I hate it for the kid. He can still make it. I just think people are in your ears. People are giving him bad advice. He's 2 to 3 years away. He's just as far as KJ is as far as taking a step to that next level. I mean, Jordan Walsh – he's a heck of a player. Great team. I mean, you see what he does. You can't help but root for the kid. He's not ready. He's not. That doesn't mean he can't be ready and won't be ready, but he needs to be the power forward for the Razorbacks next year and do his NIL thing. And I mean, that would be the advice I'd give him.
Yeah, I just felt like he was messing around with everybody, having fun with everyone. That's the video. That's what the video means to me. It doesn't mean anything other than, you know what? I know you want to know what I want to do, and guess what? I'm not about to tell you, but I'm going to make you think that I'm telling you.
He's a starting power forward. That's what I'm going to go with that. I'm going to say next year Jordan Walsh will be our starting four.
Do you think that's what this video is? That what this video means, or is there going to be some other kind of an announcement with 6 paragraphs later?
If you got Trevion Brazil, you got stuff going that the way we play with that being able to change and guard other people. That 3 and 4 is kind of going to have like a slash to it. Like Jordan Walsh is going to be a starter for the Hogs next year. I think he's just having fun with this. I think you're right.
Okay, so I'm gonna mark. I'm gonna make a little scoreboard
because there's no people out there. If they're telling him he should go, they should be fired too. So whoever it just doesn't even make sense. He's not ready for the NBA.
So Matt Jones says he's coming back.
He's coming
That's
back.
What the video says.
If he has any sense and anybody's around him that's telling him the right thing to do and that they really care for the kid and they love him, then he should be an Arkansas Razorback next year.
By the end of the show, we'll have a full scoreboard. We'll have a final score of this video means he's back or he's gone, or that it meant nothing, which is what I think it means. I don't think this video means anything. So we got 3 options, okay?
It was just a class project, huh?
Back, gone, or nothing. Or, what class?
Yeah, it was a project for film class.
The class that he's taken by himself out there in Texas, apparently. So, vote, and vote often. 877-377-6963. We'll do it through texts today. There's no winner when it comes to this. I'm just interested in finding out what you think this video means. If you've seen it, if you haven't seen it, it's on all of his social media. Right? Yeah, and Jody's correct too. Jody could just call in. Jordan Walsh could just call into the show and tell us what he wants to do. We'll make an invitation for him to do that if that's what he'd like. I'm sure somebody that knows him is listening. 877-377-6963. Somebody might actually try to call up as Jordan Walsh and not really be him. So, man, I don't know if I want to go in that route because we can't be breaking fake news here. So I'm going to count this up in just a moment and let you know what's going on here on halftime today. Clay Henry's out for the week. He is at a fishing tournament, and he's already caught himself a beautiful brown trout that he sent a photo to me and a couple other guys yesterday. So no Clay Henry. We've got Danny West from hogsports.com, part of the 24/7 Sports Network, in hour number 3. And after this break, it's the voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett, joining us for 2 segments. So stay with us on halftime.
Matt and Maddie T are so lucky they get Fish City Grill brought to them every week. Some guys have all the luck.
Always hot and fresh too, Phil. The shrimp and grits are so delicious.
I'm a big fan of their oyster nachos. It's such a unique appetizer, you have to try them.
You and your oysters, Maddie. Now I'm hungry. I'm headed to Fish City Grill.
Smart choice. They have locations in Rogers and Fort Smith.
Fish City Grill, home of friendly folks and serious seafood.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
It's the spring sale event at WT Equipment. Save up to $350 on Hustler Turf Raptor Series mowers and up to $750 on select Toro Zero Turn mowers. WT Equipment is one of the largest Hustler dealers in the country with a huge selection in stock. Buy what the pros buy, where the pros buy. Save big or get 0% for 48 months on participating equipment with approved credit. Whether you are upgrading your fleet or looking for the best cut on the cul-de-sac, don't miss the spring sale event at WT Equipment. For more information, visit your local WT dealer or online at WTpromos.com.
When was the last time you looked forward to seeing the dentist? Well, if it's been a while, or if you haven't had the best of experiences with dentistry, meet Marcy Van Ash McKinney Family Dentistry. Give her a call at 494-7600. They'll take care of it all. Crowns, bonding, dentures, bleaching, and cosmetic dentistry. Marcy Van Ash McKinney Family Dentistry at 807 South 21st. Call for an appointment today. 494-7600. That's 494-7600.
As basketball season gives way to baseball, the chill of winter is giving way to the warmth of spring. Now is the perfect time to get your AC system ready for the warmer weather with Pascal. A Pascal Pro tune-up ensures your system is clean and ready to help you stay cool this summer and avoid costly repairs or breakdowns. Right now, beat the summer heat and save $30 off your tune-up. Professional people, professional service, Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Schedule today at gopascal.com.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the used car superstore. Last month, Harry completed the biggest used car sale in store history, and now there are dozens of local trades priced to sell fast. Harry has over 200 late model trucks, SUVs, and cars on the lot. Many are low miles with factory warranty remaining. And as always, nobody will give you more for your trade than Harry Robinson. The used car and truck superstore is Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
Have you recently experienced possible hail damage to your roof? Is it just time to replace the one you currently have? Brothers Roofing and Restoration is a properly licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Brother Alexander has over 25 years of experience in home insurance and adjusting and residential roofing. Brothers Roofing Crew has 17 years of experience themselves. He provides free estimates with the most competitive pricing in the area while using the industry's best materials. So call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother to inspect your roof.
The cold and flu seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all the over-the-counter cold and flu remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointments for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
But baby, I won't joke with you. My feet are burning like a Roman hypocaust, but the Romans are gone, they changed their name because they lost. She writes letters like a Jack Chick comic, just a bunch of propaganda, make my fingers histrionic like this. And this.
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Tuesday morning, we get to talk with the voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett, here on halftime. Got him for a couple of segments. Chuck, how you doing? Good to hear from you.
I'm okay, Phil. How are you doing? What a weekend for the baseball team. Man, it was great.
No kidding.
I had a chance to be there for a couple of games. Loved it. Great atmosphere.
Was a lot of fun. Yeah. I was asked yesterday on a radio show in Jonesboro what I thought of the Tennessee-Arkansas baseball rivalry. I said, it's not a rivalry. These teams don't play each other enough for it to be a rivalry. One team dominates the other right now. It's more about the fans. The coaches don't view it as a rivalry, at least not a personal rivalry, I don't think. I don't really think there's a rivalry right there.
Well,
this
I think
last
for
weekend kind of described that. What do you think?
I think for the fans, there's a rivalry between Dave Van Horn and Tony Vitello. I don't know that it's so much Arkansas-Tennessee, but I do think in fans' minds, you know, you got to have a villain, man. You know, for it to be great theater, you got to have a villain. And Tony's the villain right now for our fans. So I do think, you know, between the lines, it's not always the rivalry fans think it is. I mean, I'll go back to Arkansas and Texas in football. There was enormous respect and friendship between Frank Broyles and Darrell Royal. But, you know, our fans hated Darrell Royal's guts, and their fans didn't think too highly of Coach Broyles. So, you know, that's part of a rivalry. So, yes, I think it's a rivalry, but maybe not in the way that, you know, you've got everybody in the dugout that's, you know, they'd give their right arm to beat the other guys. I don't think it's like that necessarily, but I do think among the fans there's a rivalry between the two coaches.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. But the team, you know, Arkansas dominates Tennessee with Tony as the head coach. They're 9-1 against him. And, I mean, they just looked like flat out just the much better team on the field this last weekend in terms of pitching. and fielding and base running and hitting. I mean, they came through with clutch hits when it mattered. And I mean, when I'm asked about what this team's identity is, it's difficult to point a finger at one thing. They're just good at beating baseball teams, and I hate to sound pithy about that, but that's kind of what they do.
Dave Van Horn's talked about playing winning baseball from the minute he walked on campus in 2002. That's been a phrase that and a term that he's gone to over and over and over again. And I think that's what they're doing right now. His best teams have played winning baseball. You can have talented teams, and he's had, frankly, more talented teams than this one. But this team plays winning baseball. Now, there's a lot of season left. There's 15 conference games left. There are important games remaining. And, the worth of their season, whether fair or not, is going to be judged by what happens in June. So, there's still a lot out there. But right now, when you look at this team, all the things that are required to win, they are doing. Tennessee's scuffling along right now. They're not very good this year. And that's just kind of, Arkansas took advantage of every mistake they made.
Phil, we had a coach that would say, bring your lunchbox to work and bring your lunch pail to work. Is that kind of what you mean when you're saying this baseball team, they kind of know how to win? They got that workman's attitude. They don't necessarily have all these A-plus guys, but they're just B-plus everywhere. And they show up ready to work.
Yeah, Matt, I think that's part of it. It's like, you look at the stuff that the pitchers were throwing out there, and this isn't a value judgment against anybody, but Tennessee's got 3 starting pitchers that have stuff to go in the first round of the major leagues. And Arkansas, does not right now. But they outpitched them. It's not what matters. What's going to happen in the future and where you go in the draft. It's just a matter of, like you say, come with a workmanlike attitude and find a way to win games. That is a Dave Van Horn team. That's exactly right.
And they take on the identity of their coach. That's for sure.
That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like to me.
Chuck,
the Springs. Go ahead.
I was going to ask you about the scrimmage, Chuck, and what you thought any of these youngsters kind of show out to you, any new stars kind of starting to blossom?
Well, I think we see that, they've obviously put in a lot of time over the course of the spring to get everything new that's in and had a real physical spring. I mean, to me, that was the most interesting part of it all, was to hear Coach Pittman talk about how, they really kind of got back to what his identity is as a football coach. And that's hitting every day, live tackling. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to do all that come August, but he did say they do some, and I like that. In terms of the scrimmage, Satania's plays obviously were ones that people were talking about. When I went to the baseball game Saturday night, he was the one everyone was talking about. Now, he's a local kid, and that's got something to do with it, but he showed separation. I mean, he really did, and that's an overused term. But when you see it and, you see the result of it, it's real. And he was able to do that. He's a guy that stood out to me. I think Arkansas is going to be pretty good rushing the passer off the edge. I think they're going to be pretty good in that area. They got to find some safeties. I'm not sure what they're going to do back there in terms of personnel. There may be some more mixing and matching with safety and with nickel, but I think they're pretty much set at the corners. And, I thought A.J. Green looked a lot different physically. I thought he ran differently. I think he's the clear number 2 at running back, and I didn't know if that would happen, quite honestly, but I think it has.
Yeah, I'm excited for A.J. Green. I like his hands out of the backfield as well. I know the way KJ can distribute the ball, man, just get him touches in space, and he can definitely make somebody miss.
I remember the freshman year when he caught that screen pass against A&M and, just took off. And so, yeah, he's a guy that you can do a lot of things with.
What did you think of Criswell? It sounds like he looked really good, and you got a pretty good backup quarterback right now.
Yeah, and I think the thing that people look at from him is, what's he going to be in the future? KJ Jefferson's going to be the quarterback. Now, if you can get through 12 games without him going out, that'd be great. We've seen in the past it's probably, may not happen. So you've got to be better in that area at the backup spot than where they were for this year. But I also think moving forward, I think people saw some things Saturday that makes them feel like that we're going to be okay at that spot. KJ's been here so long. It's almost hard to remember a time when he wasn't the quarterback. And, there's going to be life after that. It's coming up fairly quickly. So I think when you watch him play, you realize this is a guy that could be a keeper.
I've selectively forgotten those 2 years before KJ became quarterback at Arkansas for very good and obvious reasons. But, Chuck, I've broadcast a lot of baseball games, a lot of football, a lot of basketball, but I've never broadcast a scrimmage before where score was not being kept. I've always said, people ask, it's difficult to do baseball games? Sure, but, the game kind of takes care of it. If you broadcast the game, you're going to be okay. Don't worry about it. You got a scoreboard, and that's what matters. But in a scrimmage, it's a totally different thing. I mean, I listened to you guys on Saturday, and I enjoyed it, and you made it sound like a game at times. But it's just a different thing to do on the radio.
It is, and, when you don't have a scoreboard, obviously, you can't keep score. So, that made it different. But I think that the thing that, for us anyway, made it okay and made it fun was the fact that there were all the former players there. And, Matt and I talked about that some on the podcast. I think that's a really important thing. And a lot of them were at the game. D-Mac was there, and Gino knows all those guys, so it was very easy for him to work the sidelines, and I think he even came into the stands a time or two. So we celebrated that, and I think that's worthy of a celebration in the spring because I think those guys, when they come back, they ought to be recognized.
Yeah, I thought it was funny that on the course, it was bumper pull or Tony Bua, that kind of conversation going along with the guys, and it's all out of love, and I'm a Tony Bua guy. But it's Chuck, I think McAdoo's going to be a star. I think if he stays healthy at that defensive defensive cornerback spot, and you can be able to lock him up on one guy sometimes and allow the defense to fly around, man, I think he's going to have a breakout season.
He's going to get a chance to play a lot of snaps. And now, look, they brought new guys in there. They didn't bring them in to sit. So there's real competition at those spots. But I think that they're going to be okay there. I think they've got options. Snacks Johnson's a pretty good player, evidently, and Walcott's going to be a keeper from what I understand. And, McLaughlin's set on the other side. So, Quincy's going to be in the rotation. Whether or not he's going to start, I don't know.
He'd be that nickel guy you were talking.
He could be.
He's going to be I kind of did a bad job of lead, but like a Tony Bua, as far as you're going to want him on the fields. He's going to be out there. You got to have McAdoo out there on the field making plays.
It's going to be interesting to see. To me, when I look at the defense, when we get to August, how are those three spots?
Mm-hmm.
The nickel and the two safeties. Who are going to be the guys that emerge there? I know Hudson seems to be cemented at free safety. And, look, somebody's got to get all these guys lined up, and it might be Hudson. But can Jalen Lewis handle the nickel spot? And if he can't, who do you move from corner? Can you move Johnson over and move Bishop up? Can you move McAdoo? I don't know. Those are all things that I think are still out there. But I do think they got a much better idea now of where they're going to go than maybe they did when all this started.
8 scholarships right now to play with, too, Chuck.
They're not done. They're not done.
Yeah.
And just when you say, well, it's just going to be the Culls here in April, you got Bear Henderson down there at Georgia that's put his name in the portal. So there may end up being some good players come out of this. Who knows?
You get starting center from A&M came out. The starting left tackle, I think, from Oklahoma State. This April transfer portal, it's a lot. Obviously it's different from the portal at the end of the regular season, but it's very immediate. It's right after spring, and so you're trying to plan for summer, and this is an intense 2 weeks.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, this is the last time you can do it. In an unlimited. After this, it's a one-time deal unless you've graduated. So there may be some that, take advantage of this opportunity to see what's out there. I don't know. When you're a kid, the grass is always greener on the other side.
Yep.
And there's always an adult out there that, is willing to tell you that you're right. So there may be some good ones.
Well, and
that
there's
come
a lot
out
of
this.
there's a lot of turnover in the coaching's carousel. The guy that recruited you might not be there anymore.
That's true, no doubt. That's true. He may be at a place you wouldn't mind going. So, and there's poaching. There's poaching going on, whether anybody admits it or not. So, I mean, this could turn out to be a pretty interesting period.
Chuck, before we let you go, I wanted to ask if you had memories of Chris Smith, former defensive lineman and defensive end at Arkansas that passed away yesterday, age 31. Way too young for someone to pass away. It's incredibly sad. And, I mean, he played for Arkansas. It was 11 and 12 years ago. So, I mean, it's still kind of fresh in people's minds.
He was a freshman on the team that went to the Sugar Bowl and played quite a bit. Played, I think, in about half the games. And he started to establish himself that next year. Played a good bit as a sophomore, started some. That team beat Kansas State in what turned out to be Petrino's last game. So he enjoyed the best of times, and then he endured the worst of times. The next year was really, from an individual standpoint, his breakout year, but the team, it was the John L. year. And then he was a senior and a captain in Bielema's first year when they went over. But, he was drafted. You think about this, and Matt, I'm sure you've got some appreciation for this. He was a 5th-round draft pick, went to Jacksonville, ended up playing 8 years in the league. A lot of 5th-round draft picks don't even make it to the final cut. And he managed to fashion an 8-year career out of this. But what I really remember, and this has nothing to do with what he did on the field, but, Petrino's the one that really started that catfish hole show that we still do. Petrino's the one that started that. And, Chris, by the time he was a junior, I guess, John L's year and then Bielema's year, he was a prominent player on the team. And I just remember him being out there and how big his smile was and the way he interacted with the fans. And just he was the embodiment of what you would want a player on your team to be. Just the way he handled himself with people. And, again, those teams didn't win a lot of games. And even in the Petrino years, Bobby got so much of the attention that you didn't always know who the players were beyond the offensive stars. And, Smith was a good player on those teams too. But he was really a quality guy. And just really sad.
Chuck, I appreciate you talking about Chris Smith like that. Thank you very much. We got Chuck for another segment. So stay with us. You can give us a call or a text, 877-377-6963. Back with more halftime after this.
Ray Maliotta here for eBay Motors. So you ordered a new air filter for your car. You try to install it, but it doesn't fit. So you take a little bit off the sides. What, still doesn't fit? Well, you could try to sit on it. Or get it right the first time with eBay Guaranteed Fit. When you see the check, you know that part's gonna fit. Air filters, brakes, headlights, over 122 million parts. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors, let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
Right now, catfish is something special at Calico County. Whether you like it crispy fried, grilled, or blackened, our catfish is currently available at a special price. They'll cook it the way you like it and serve it with 2 sides and rolls. You can also have their same great fish served on a hoagie roll with slaw and their own remoulade. The Catfish Po' Boy's on special as well. So roll on into Calico County for great catfish at a great price. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue, behind Randall Ford.
Hanging out at Randall Ford. Beautiful weekend going on in the River Valley. Nice and sunny. It's almost spring. And Ray, you know, when people come out and they think pre-owned vehicles, they need to think Randall Ford because you have them priced in all different payment ranges.
Exactly. The most aggressive, the best mileage, the best price, the lowest payment, easy to get approved on. We work with everyone. If there's a way, we will find it.
You know, if someone's looking for that first-time driver car, you have plenty of those to choose from. Or if they're looking for something to send a kid off to college in that they know is going to be dependable, then Randall Ford's a place they need to stop in and shop.
Exactly. Dependability, reliability, reputation, that's what we're all about.
You know, if Randall Ford isn't the leader in the River Valley, they wouldn't have been voted best of the best. So if they're interested in looking for something new or pre-owned, just come see Ray.
Exactly. Come see us. We've been here for over 100 years for a reason. We are proud to be part of Randall Ford. Come see us.
Now's the time to get a great deal on select Kubota compact tractors, rated #1 in durability and owner experience. They're designed for easy operation and feature performance-matched attachments. Right now, put 0 down and get 0% APR for up to 72 months, now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a limit.
Greenwood Collision is ready to serve as everyone assesses the damage from the recent storms. They will gladly work with all insurance companies and make the process of getting your vehicle back to new as painless as possible. Greenwood Collision is direct repair for most insurance companies and provides a lifetime warranty on all work. Let them do all the work for you. Call Chris or Joe today at Greenwood Collision at 996-9922 or stop by their location at 2615 West Center Street in Greenwood.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The city streets are empty now. The lights don't shine no more. And so the songs are way down low. Turn it, a sound that flows into my mind. The echoes of the daylight, of everything that is alive.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Chuck Barrett with us here in this last segment on Halftime, 877-377-6963. Chuck, Matt Jones and I and our listenership is like kind of kicking around with this Jordan Walsh video might mean. Is he staying? Is he going somewhere? Or is it just sort of like
Should I
trolling
stay or should
everybody?
I
That's
go?
what I
No.
think it means. Yeah, I don't think it means anything. I think he was just like, I don't know, like messing around. Maybe it does mean something. What'd you take from that video?
Was he wearing boxers?
It
Are those, I'm not a young guy, Matt. I'm going to defer to you. Are those actual, like, wearing outside shorts, or is that boxers?
He looked like a flower child. It was all good. That USF, that logo, that Jordan Walsh thing he had on the back, that's what it looked like. You know the USF, how they got the tail on it, like his.
Yeah, I thought that looked like bulls.
It looked like
a Bulls
so
logo.
we might need to copyright that. Whoever his movie producer was.
I'll bet it has been copyrighted.
But Chuck, I just want a video walking like Reservoir Dogs. We should maybe do something like that. You don't have to even say much. It's just cool. Just kind of, we'll just all start walking somewhere. Like, I wonder what they're doing. Yeah.
Well, it was. He looked like he was contemplating the universe as he walked out there, which I guess he
certainly
is.
did.
He's contemplating
Maybe
his universe. That's for sure.
Well, the title of the video is Decision, but I think it was like an announcement of an announcement that there'll be an announcement.
Maybe that's what it was. Should I wear these
weeks.
shorts or not? Maybe that's what it was. Yeah.
Should I put on pants or should I go out in my boxers?
Chuck, man, I think Jordan Walsh is a heck of a player. I watch him play, and just his athleticism really shines. I mean, he's still a baby when it comes to the basketball side of it. I take of it when he was in high school, he was probably the most athletic guy on the floor every single night. So now he's learning how to play a little basketball. I think he's 3 years away from being anything as far as NBA ready. I'd love for the kid to come back. I think that would be in his best interest for him and the team.
Well, you know a lot more about that than I do, in terms of what makes a ready guy. And I'm sure the NBA executives, the scouts, I'm certain he's gotten a lot of feedback. I don't have any doubt about that. And I have no idea what he's going to decide to do, particularly based on that video. I do know that a lot of these guys, I mean, the plan's been, and you just look around the country, traveling team, private academy that last year, one and done, on to the NBA. I mean, there's kind of that template, and he's one of those guys that's been part of that. And I know their plan was I suspect very strongly that their plan was 1 year in college and we're going pro. And sometimes you get hit in the face with reality. But again, I'm not in a position to say whether or not, he's got this skill set for the pros. He doesn't have that skill set. I thought he got a lot better as the season went on, particularly on the defensive end. I do think that if I was projecting out in my amateurish way, I would certainly think that his length and his athleticism and his ability to run and jump, basketball IQ, all those things give him a chance to play for a long time. Now, whether or not it's now, I don't know. I guess that's why it's a decision. And we can talk about the video, and it's kind of fun to talk about, but he really does have a difficult decision to make. And at the end of the day, he's the only one that can make it. So I hope whatever he decides, it works out for him.
Well, the video won't be up for any Oscars for short films, but in the meantime, the backcourt's been totally remade.
Gave us something to talk about.
That's exactly right. And I'm thankful for that. The backcourt's totally remade. And the front court, not yet. I mean, McKell is in the transfer portal, still waiting to hear from Mackay, from whatever the next decision upon decision or announcement comes from Jordan Walsh. And, I know they're contacting guys in the transfer portal. It's just interesting how, the backcourt is totally remade now. Totally remade with guys that have started for other really good programs too. And yet we're kind of waiting for some things to occur in the front court.
Well, every time over the last week or two, we've kind of thought to ourselves, okay, we've got an idea now. It's beginning to settle. Something happens. The thing that I like is, and I know these are not the only two, and they've got a plan for all of them. These are the pieces to the puzzle that they've envisioned. I like the fact that El Ellis can score, and I like the fact that Khalif Battle can score. I like the fact they can shoot. I think that, that was the glaring deficiency this past year. And I'm not breaking any news when I say that. Everybody knows that. And it seems to me as though that has been addressed. And I'm glad to see that. How it's going to shake out in the front court, I don't know. But I do think that when you look at this team as a whole, they got a lot more weapons. There's a lot more weapons out there. And, you've just got to have that. You've got to have that part of your game. And I think it, at least in the backcourt, from what the numbers tell us, these are guys that can do that.
Yeah, if you find some of these guys that can score without the ball a little bit, that was one thing. The kid from UConn, Phil and Chuck, number 24, he was one of those guys that didn't necessarily need the ball in his hands, where a lot of these guards, they do. They need the ball in their hands to try to get it going. Pinion's another guy that he can kind of move without the ball. So some of these new guys, I love the fact, Chuck, that they're going to be able to switch everything on defense, though. They're all those long, rangy guys. Yeah, man, defense, that's where it starts with Coach Muss.
Man, I'll tell you, the game's a whole lot different now. I mean, I don't know how much defending the dribble handoff and the pick and roll and all that stuff you guys did when you played, Matt, but it's it's a different game now, and switching and
it was a slow. Coach Richardson had it going, but we still had that 35-second shot clock, so it was still a little bit slower pace. Yeah,
and now a big part of defending is, how do you fight through that high ball screen that just seems to start everything and every play that the team runs, that you're up against a lot of times. So, you're right. I mean, all that stuff figures in as well. We focus on the scoring, and I'll admit I have in this because I don't have any doubt Muscle fashioned a good defensive team. I don't have any doubt about that. But you still got to have guys who can score from the perimeter. I mean, you've got to have that part of your game. And, again, it seems like they've addressed that.
Hey, Chuck, before we let you go, I wanted to ask you about, today is Yankee Stadium, the 100th anniversary of the first game played at Yankee Stadium. Probably the most famous, at least baseball stadium in the country, if not the most famous stadium in the country. It was renovated, reopened in '76, and then reopened as another new stadium in 2009. Did you ever make it to Yankee Stadium in any of its iterations?
I've never been to Yankee Stadium. I've been so privileged to go to so many wonderful places, but I have never been to the Big Apple. So it's at 60 years old, it's still on my bucket list. I hate the Yankees. Why would I want to go watch the Yankees play unless the Cardinals are there? I don't care about that.
I went to see them play in the World Series again because it was the World Series. That's a little
different.
Well,
that's a little bit
different. That was
different.
at the last stadium.
That's
a
little
bit different.
Favorite
Stadium that you've been to?
Oh, I think the park in San Francisco is hard to beat, where the Giants play.
Oh, you're right.
I think. Now look, I mean, you may need to pack a hoodie for a July night game, but which I've done. But it's a beautiful place to watch a baseball game.
Chuck, I brought it up yesterday. My first experience at that ballpark is when I was working for a team in California. The year that park opened, I didn't pack the hoodie. I had shorts and a T-shirt on for a June game in San Francisco. It was like a lot of fans at Saturday's game at Baum Walker. You come to the ballpark, it's bright and sunny out, and, man, it got cold at night. Hog Heaven did a killing that night, and, that's what the Giants team store does, too, on most nights.
I've been there twice. Saw a triple play there turn one time. So
no kidding.
Yeah, I'll always remember that. And I'll remember wearing
cool.
the hoodie for a July night game, too.
That's exactly right. Who was it? Was it Frank Sinatra said the coldest that he's ever been was a summer evening in San Francisco?
I believe that. I certainly do.
Chuck, appreciate you hopping on. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great rest of the week.
All right, guys. Enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thanks, Chuck.
You got it. Chuck Barrett, voice of the Razorbacks, giving us some of his time each Tuesday here on Halftime. Stay with us. We'll wrap up the first hour right after this.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Art's Barbecue and Burgers has the best burger in town. And every Saturday, enjoy any burger at Art's and get $1 off. Try Art's Bacon Cheeseburger, topped with house-smoked bacon, or the Art Attack with bacon, ham, and a fried egg. And all of Art's burgers come with a mound of fresh-cut fries, or upgrade to Art's homemade onion rings. $1 off all burgers every Saturday at Art's Barbecue and Burgers, 8203 Rogers Avenue, next to Aaron's in Fort Smith.
This year, we considered hiring an ad agency to help with our marketing.
They pitched impressive visuals and a script that was inspiring.
And exotic animal mascots to help grab your attention.
In the end, we just decided to tell it to you straight. Shelter Insurance has award-winning customer service at affordable rates.
Plus, our local agents are there to help you understand what coverage you need.
Call Randy Milam in Alma or Brandon Zimmerman in Barley.
What's the room again?
1080, down at the end.
Ooh, what's that? Hey, don't touch that. It's gross.
Here we are. Got the key?
You have them.
Oh, great. It's not working.
Try flipping it over.
Oh my gosh. Seriously?
Okay.
Why can't we go inside?
Bring it over.
I'm tired. Oh my gosh.
Give me yours.
Really? You have mine.
Oh, yeah, right.
Really?
I'm tired. Oh my gosh.
Can everyone just shut the...
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Breeden RV, Highway 64 between Alma and Van Buren.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 Fort Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook where you can check out their work.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Are you looking for a great deal on a previously owned vehicle but want to avoid high-pressure sales? If so, you need to visit Edwards Auto Sales in Roland. For over 30 years, Ernie Edwards and his staff have helped folks from Arkansas and Oklahoma River Valley buy a quality vehicle and offer a buy here, pay here program as part of their services. Some restrictions may apply. Come visit Edwards Auto Center newly remodeled facility 3 miles west of the Garrison Bridge, the first car dealer on your right, or log on at edwardsautosalesinc.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
We have whiskey with your water, sugar with your tea. What are these crazy questions that they're asking of me? This is the wildest party that they ever could be. Well, don't turn on the light, cause I don't want to see. Mama told me not to come. Mama told me not to come. Mama said it ain't no way to have fun.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Back on Halftime to wrap up hour number 1. So let's look at our scoreboard here for the Jordan Walsh video. We got 4 that think he's coming back. We got 3 that think it's nothing, and 2 that think that he's gone. So right now, most people are in your camp here, Matt Jones, at this weird Jordan Walsh video, which apparently I think was filmed at Link Academy, which is where he went to school.
Yeah.
For that last year. That's what Chuck had mentioned. I don't know. I really don't know what to make of this thing. But, you know, Chuck's right, though. It gave us something to talk about, something to dissect, something to critique. Because we're all movie critics. We can critique a 30-second movie, a bad movie like that.
Well, I didn't expect it to say much. Jordan Walsh doesn't seem to – he seems to be – man, he seems like to be a perfect teammate. Like, he's going to show up to work. He works hard. He plays defense. He doesn't say too much. He's there to work. And so I think that video was reflected in his personality was – he's not a very vocal. He's not gonna. He's just there to work, man. I'd love to play with Jordan Walsh, man. I think he should be a Razorback for another year, maybe even 2 years. I don't get this whole template that says, man, I got to go to high school, I got to go to academy, I just got to go one and done, I got to go to the league. That's not it. Whoever said that's feeding that to these people. Yeah, there's 7 guys a year that can do that. The other 40 guys got to go back to school. So just because you're a 5-star doesn't mean you're just going to be one and done. It's okay. Dwayne Wade went 3 years to college. Tim Duncan did. The Fad 5. You look at all these guys; they stay in school for another year. It's okay, man. The NBA is going to be there next year, and they're going to find you. If you're good enough, the NBA is going to find you. And then also, Phil, you got to be a first-round pick. If you're not a first-round pick, nothing's guaranteed. What, are you going to go to Australia and play? Then that's cool. You can go do that and make a lot of money over there. But if your dream's to be in the NBA, why are you not just going to be Arkansas Razorback next year?
Nobody believes, though, that they're going to be the one that doesn't work out, or the one of the many that doesn't work out.
That's why you got to have somebody in your camp.
College after a year.
That's why you got to have somebody that can tell you, that you can talk to, that you trust, that somebody's not, it's like the angel and the devil on your. It's like you got to have somebody that's telling you giving you the right advice.
We all need somebody that gives us good advice, and advice that. Advice that doesn't suck.
Well, it's easy to see sometimes when you're not in the middle. When you're outside looking in, yeah.
You need to have people that are willing to tell you the hard truth about something.
That you don't, not just yes people, right?
But look, I mean, there's the people that you listen to, which are your advisors. But what about the NBA scouts? What about those who are not in your camp that will be honest with you about this when you get your draft rating, and you get, you see what professionals think about your game and where you fit in. I mean, that's what I'm talking about.
You know what I tell you, Phil? You know what I would 100% promise you that this is how it'll go down. If he's healthy, which that's every athlete. We're just going to assume that's another dollar in the jar. If he's healthy, the kid's draft rate's going to go up. It's not going down if he comes back to Arkansas. He's not a first-round pick right now. He has a chance to be a first-round pick. That's how simple it is. It's not I don't know what's the whole deal. It's like, dude, you're not a first-round pick right now. Let's go back to school. You could be a first-round pick next year, though.
So I have a decision, too. We'll do 2 more hours of this radio show and then call it a day. What do you think? Does that work? We don't even need a weird movie to announce that. Yeah. Put another dollar in the jar, Matt. Thank you very much. 877-377-6963. Second hour of halftime after this.
Springtime is finally here, and Road Chevrolet in Van Buren has the savings you need. Enjoy a 6-quart full synthetic oil change for $59.95 with a tire rotation at no additional charge. And save money by getting a 4-wheel alignment for only $79.95. To save even more, if you've never met our service manager, Ronald Peters, come and shake his hand and save $20 off any other service. It's as easy as a handshake. Road Chevrolet Van Buren and Rhodes Tire Center. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
And we're back with breaking news. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any Coke fan, so make sure you... Jim. Jim. We're on the air.
Ooh, yes, this tastes like the best Coke ever to me. Your thoughts, Jen?
Well, can I have a sip?
Jen, we're in the middle of reporting the news.
I need to try it first.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind everyone to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I'd also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify.
The homestead tax credit can save you up to $375 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Drs. Sparkman, Nanda, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we should see a bounty of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon into the upper 70s, mainly clear, mid-50s tonight. I think we'll see partial sunshine on Wednesday. Our high upper 70s to near 80. Thursday, showers and thunderstorms will be likely. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
When it comes to your auto repairs, call W&W Automotive at 242-1600.
I hate everything you just said. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3.
They're hilarious.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
You said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! On 3! 1, 2, 3! Turn that back,
Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Drive right field. Home run. He does get the cycle. Dylan Leach lines a home run into the home bullpen. And he hits for the cycle. Leach drives one to deep left field. He's hit his second home run of the game. My gosh. I'd like what he's eating for breakfast tomorrow. That's what happened the last time that the Arkansas Razorbacks played the UCA Bears at in a baseball game at Baum-Walker Stadium. They beat the Bears 21-8, and Dylan Leach had a game that I've never heard of before. Hit for the cycle and hit 2 home runs, one from each side of the plate as a switch hitter. Either one of those things would be a really cool achievement. To hit 2 home runs in a game, to hit them from both sides of the plate, which is really rare, and then for all of that to occur the same time that you hit for the cycle. Pretty amazing. Of course, Leach now catching for the Missouri Tigers. And baseball is such a weird game because so Arkansas played UCA twice last year, Matt. Beat them 21-8 at Baum. And then I think it was 3 weeks later, beat him 2-1 in 10 innings. So they were the same team, the same pitching staff, obviously different pitchers, but the same pitching staff held Arkansas to 19 runs fewer than the amount of runs they had scored against them 3 weeks before. But that's baseball, right? That's just sort of some of the oddness of it.
That's
There's
a pretty
always
cool
something
feat,
odd
though.
that happens.
Seeing somebody bat for the
It
cycle.
is.
I got to see Vince Coleman still home. I know you get to see all sorts of stuff, but it's just something you'll never forget, you know?
No, I can't remember seeing anybody with a straight steal of home.
Yeah.
So that's rare too.
That was cool.
If you could mix that in with hitting for the cycle after you hit for the triple that gets you the cycle.
See a no-hitter.
Now we're mixing in.
Yeah.
Now we're mixing them in. But, something weird, not weird. You either see a game you didn't expect to see or Arkansas scores 3 touchdowns and someone hits for the cycle against UCA. Because the first time these programs met in 2021, Arkansas won 21-9, and Robert Moore hit for the cycle. And then the next year, Dylan Leach hits for the cycle against UCA, and then you beat him 2-1 in 10 innings at Dickey-Stevens Park when Moore scored the winning run in a wild pitch. So I don't know what you're going to see today. Heck, I mean, you know what it is, Matt. It's midweek college baseball. And last week, when Arkansas played against the Little Rock Trojans, that was a perfect example of college baseball being the most drunk sport in all of college sports. 21 runs and a win on a Tuesday, and then maybe the sloppiest game they've played all year and lose 11-4 to Little Rock. And that game had nothing to do with what happened in the Tennessee series because that just didn't transfer over. So whatever happens today has nothing to do with what goes on when Arkansas goes out to Georgia for the Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Georgia, by the way, is going to Clemson today. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts. We're keeping a scoreboard of what you think the Jordan Walsh video means, decision video means. Right now, most people think he's coming back. Only 2 people are being pessimistic and say that the video means he's gone. Some people are hopping on into my car and say it means nothing. He's just putting out a video. Let's see what Charlie thinks here. Hey, Charlie, what do you think this video means? I know you got thoughts.
I think he's coming back, but I will say.
But is that what the video means?
Well, I don't really know what the video means. I think he's either trying to point toward. He had the Razorback hoodie on, and what he said after the UConn. I know it doesn't pertain to the video, but after the game itself, and then kind of what his mom posted on Twitter. But guys, I want to take this out of it, and I want to ask this too, and I think it needs to be talked about. And it's not a knock at Eric Musselman, but when he's out in the portal and he continues to add piece after piece after piece like he does every year, is there certain mutual – I don't know. I'm not saying he's pushing people out. I don't think that. I don't know if that's – but when you go to a kid and you say, look, we're going to the portal and we're going to do this, 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 and try to do this, this, this. And as a player, you kind of see that writing on the wall. I think that's kind of what happened to Barry Dunning. I mean, the writing was on the wall for him. And I'm not saying for Jordan Walsh the same because I think he's a different situation. And mostly what they've added in the portal has been more so guards. I know they added the kid. They added one kind of wing guy, didn't they? Or 2. 6'7" guys.
Yeah, a couple of rangy guys, but I don't think any of them are as athletic as Walsh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that either. But what I'm saying is, as a player, when you're looking at all these acquisitions that are going on, are you thinking to yourself too? Because I agree with you, Matt. You got to have somebody that tells you the truth in your ear. Hey, look, you're not this, you're not this, you're not that. But as a player, like if I'm Jordan Walsh, I'm having conversations with him. It's like, Coach, do I need to enter the portal? What's up? I'm not taking a shot.
What's your vision?
Yeah.
Charlie, I can't get into Jordan Walsh's mind about this, but it's also like, he didn't come to Arkansas planning on a second year. He came to Arkansas just like Nick Smith, just like Anthony Black was expecting 1 year. That year did not go as expected for Jordan Walsh, although I think you could probably tell by watching him the first couple of months, unless there was a vast improvement on the offensive side.
He got better,
that he wasn't good. He did get better, but he didn't get good enough to be a first-round draft choice.
No.
So that year, the year didn't go the way that he expected. So in that case, it's like I brought up the other day. If you sign with Arkansas as a high school senior, you better know when Eric Musselman is the head coach that there's going to be a whole different look to the roster the next year.
Absolutely.
And you might not fit into it. And maybe that's I don't know. Maybe that's the situation with this. It's 2 factors here. Walsh didn't think he'd be here a second year, and maybe that's the case. Maybe he will be, or maybe he wanted to be. But I mean, there's a reason why. I want there to be a Devo Davis Award for being a guy who played for Muss for 3 years, because I don't think there's going to be many of them, and maybe there'll be a 4th for Devo.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not going to knock Jordan for what he does in the sense, like, if his reasoning is exactly what you just said, and that's why I don't understand, like, why fans get on these kids. Like, I do understand I don't think he needs to throw his name in the draft or anything. But if he's just sitting there like, I think Jordan will be back. I really do. That's just my opinion. And I want to ask one more thing before I get off here. Matt, when you played and you came to the line of scrimmage pre-snap, you said you had two different coaches there. What were you taught? Were you taught, okay, look at the safety depth, where they lined up, and then corners probably, and then post-snap, do you kind of – and that's where you go through your progressions. Is that kind of how it works? Like, okay, whatever the play is called, blah, 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 if you think you know the coverage pre-snap, what if they change post-snap? Does that change your progression, in the play call? You get what I'm saying. You're a quarterback.
No, I got you.
Explain that to me. Anyways, guys, I'll hang up and listen.
Well, yeah, thanks. The first thing you do, you're counting the box. You're seeing if there's 7, there's 8 in the box. You're if it's a run play or a pass play, if you got 4 strong, you're protecting yourself from 4 strong and 3 weak, and you're getting them into the right play. Yeah, I mean, you do your scouting. You basically can tell if it's a 2 high, 1 high, if it's a man free, and that's why Dan Enos uses a lot of motions. So anytime you use motion, it just helps clear it up for the quarterback. It helps clear it up for everybody because they have to adjust to your motion as well. But yeah, you got to kind of got a checklist for each play, what you're doing. But you always start off counting the box and finding out where the safeties are for sure.
877-377-6963 for any thoughts on what Matt's talking about there or opinions on Jordan. Everybody's got an opinion on the Jordan Walsh thing here. Here's a text out of the 870. Thinks Walsh that Muss has moved on in his case. Says Jordan is awesome, would love to have him back. He thinks he's gone. Another text that says, I think the video means he's bored back home in Texas and doesn't have much to do right now.
Man, work on your craft, man. He can dribble the ball fine. He's very textbook, Jordan Walsh is, when it comes to watching him play. That's why I think his game's going to translate to the next level. He needs a college offseason, man. Just keep on working, man. Gain 5, 6, 7 pounds, natural muscle and natural body weight. He's so athletic and so skilled, man. I hope he comes. I mean, I wish the kid success, and I think he's going to be successful in whatever he does. But he's still 3-4 years out before he's an NBA player.
Hey there, Hogs and UCA tonight. It's a 6 o'clock first pitch. They'll have it on the TV at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith, home of half-price apps and half-price taps during every televised Razorback event. Plus, it's Taco Tuesday today. So get over to Joe's Grill and Cantina for $1 crispy beef or chicken tacos, $2.95 for pork canidi tacos, and add $1 for the brisket or pork belly tacos. Joe's Grill and Cantina, home of half-price apps and half-price taps during all televised Razorback events. They're at 3400 South 74th in Fort Smith, right across from the Harps. Tuesday through Saturday is when they're open. joesfortsmith.com, the website. Give us a call at 877-377-6963. It's halftime, and we're right back.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You get the next one right, we'll add a bottle of Louis Martini Cabernet. Now, I don't know whether you drink it or not.
That's wine, right?
That's not the question. We might make it the question.
That was not.
Is Louis Martini Cabernet, what is it?
Cabernet or wine?
Is it pickle juice or wine?
It's a wine.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Spring fishing is here, and Jelco Outdoors has all the gear you need for a great day of fishing. Rods, reels, bait and tackle, clothing, footwear, and rain gear. Brands like Shimano, Frog Togs, Daiwa, G. Loomis, Luz, Falcon, Sixth Sense, JB3, Bobby Garland, X-Man, Rebel, ACC Rods, Favorite, Todd Huckabee Rods, and many more. Old Town fishing kayaks are ready to go for spring. Hey, shop local. Shop Jelco Outdoors for all your fishing needs in Fort Smith.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names. And tractors that weigh more, do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
What do you get when you pull into Tony's Tire Service? You get the best selection of tires for any car, truck, or commercial vehicle. Tony's Tire Service has Cooper tires and is ready to serve you to get you back on the road safely. They'll also get your vehicle fixed with brake replacements, plus an alignment with the best repair guy in the area. Tony's Tire Service has been serving the River Valley for over 34 years. Come let our guys replace your tires with Cooper tires and our service department to make sure the vehicle has the best brakes and alignments. Tony's Tire Service, 7200 South 28th Street in Fort Smith. Service you can depend on.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind everyone to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I'd also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify.
The homestead tax credit can save you up to $375 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
As basketball season gives way to baseball, the chill of winter is giving way to the warmth of spring. Now is the perfect time to get your AC system ready for the warmer weather with Pasco. A Pasco Pro tune-up ensures your system is clean and ready to help you stay cool this summer and avoid costly repairs or breakdowns. Right now, beat the summer heat and save $30 off your tune-up. Professional people, professional service, Pasco Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Schedule today at gopasco.com.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Fly so swift, rain won't lift, key won't close, the railing froze. Get your mind off winter time, you ain't going nowhere. Say, ooh-wee, ride me high, tomorrow's the day, my bride's gone.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Rolling along on halftime. It's a gorgeous Tuesday. Looking forward to baseball tonight. We'll have it at 5:30 for the Dugout Show. I don't know who the starting pitcher is going to be. Dave and Matt have not announced anybody, but have a sense of who may pitch today. Not necessarily as a starter, but guys you're certainly not going to see on Thursday. Wouldn't be surprised if Parker Coyle gets the start. Left-handed freshman. Austin Ledbetter going to get some opportunities today. You're still trying to give up Zach Morris a chance to right his season, and you'll see Cody Adcock at some point. I think there's plenty of pitching there today for this team. If you got 4 guys that can go out, get you some outs, you can go out there and take care of business against the UCA Bears. And then tomorrow, a flight to Athens, Georgia, and then a series with the Georgia Bulldogs on Saturday. I can't wait to get to Athens. Love that city.
Yeah.
I'm continuously asked, what is people that go around the SEC will be asked, where's your favorite place to go? Well, this one is. Athens, Georgia is my favorite place to go in the Southeastern Conference. It's like, I love Nashville. Nashville is huge.
Nashville's the answer, yeah. For
Nashville's
everybody answer. Yeah, Nashville's the easy answer, I guess to say. Yeah.
And for good reason.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why people will say that. It's the only major city in the entire league. And it is a great place to go have fun, even if you're just going for Vanderbilt sports.
No, I grew up thinking the University of Georgia was in Atlanta, until I got in the SEC to know, oh, it's in Athens. Yeah, yeah.
Well, they played in the Georgia Dome, and now at Mercedes-Benz Stadium enough where it's like, yeah, it feels like the university is located there, even though their supposed arch rival, Georgia Tech, is located.
Mm-hmm.
They got more Georgia fans than Georgia Tech fans.
The Yellow Jackets, right? Yeah.
That's an easy one. That's an easy one to look at. But yeah, I mean, I like Nashville, and we're going there to end the regular season. But there, sometimes like a big city is almost too big.
Athens kind of has that throwback the time type feel to it. Everything's a little more relaxed,
It's the right size.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the Goldilocks size of a college town. It's not tiny. It's not like Auburn. It's not like Starkville, and I like going to Starkville.
You think it's similar to Fayetteville? I know Fayetteville's, we got more hills and mountains and stuff, but Fayetteville's not too big.
I think if you're just looking at the city itself, like Fayetteville, and not count the rest of Northwest Arkansas,
that is
then
kind
Athens
of the truth
is a little
now.
larger.
Yeah.
Yeah, Athens is a little larger than Fayetteville in that sense, but it's a funky place. You know what I mean? And we stay. The downtown area of Athens is right across the street from the campus, and everything happens in that part of town, or at least that's what it feels like. And the campus is gorgeous, and the facilities are great, and they have. I was on the Razorback Daily with Quinn and with Matt Zimmerman that's out today, and they asked me about Athens and about the ballpark, and I called it a cute ballpark. It's a cute little ballpark. Because Foley Field, you could fit all of Foley Field stands in one corner of Baum-Walker Stadium. I mean, they really don't. They might get 3,500 people a game there, but it's a nice little ballpark. Is it insulting, Matt, to call somebody's home stadium cute? Because that's what Foley Field is to me. It's cute, and I don't mean that in like a oh, you're really super cute, pat a kid on the head kind of a way. It is. It's a cute little ballpark. That's not an insult.
Yeah, I don't think of Georgia as Georgia. It was whenever we played there, because we played there in football and in basketball. It was kind of like disconnected from the city. It was like you kind of just went on somewhere else, and then all of a sudden you're in Athens. But it definitely had that slow back feel, like slow time feel, like old school. Like it seemed like time kind of just went a little slower pace there.
Well, the Sanford Stadium's not cute. If I were to pick of a cute football stadium in the SEC, it would be the patting on the head kind of cute, and it would be Memorial Stadium where Vanderbilt plays. That would be the cute one. Otherwise, every time I go to Athens, I always think, because when you fly in with football, you fly into Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
and then you drive on the Atlanta Highway, and I always think about Love Shack by the B-52s, driving down the Atlanta Highway, and I can't help but just keep looking to my left and my right. Where is it? Where are they singing about? It's somewhere on this highway. Can't help it. That's kind of how I was raised. Jason thinks Sean Fitzpatrick might get out and pitch. Maybe he will. Maybe. I don't know. I don't really know if Fitzpatrick this year has that much of a future for this year's team as a loogie, like that big hefty left-hander that the Tennessee Volunteers threw out there. Have you ever brought up the idea of the loogie to you, Matt?
Well,
in baseball terms,
Keith Hernandez did shoot one at Newman. That's the only time that I knew. But Kramer, I think it wasn't a direct shot. Yeah,
but back and to the left.
Yeah, right.
Back and to the left.
Yeah.
Yes. No, that's the kind of loogie that I always thought of when I know the term loogie. But what I'm referring to is not a giant snot bubble. It is an LOOGY, left-handed one-out guy. You can't do that in Major League Baseball anymore, because now there's the rule that if a pitcher comes out of the pen, he's got to either complete the inning or face 3 batters. So there are no left-handed one-out guys anymore. College baseball doesn't have that.
You have to face 3 batters?
You either face 3 batters or you complete the inning. So there is still a chance for a guy to come out. If there's 2 outs and face 1 hitter.
I like that rule, though, Phil.
Lefty versus lefty.
I like that rule, to not just come in for 1, but to pitch the whole inning. I like it.
Well, see, now that's another aspect of the game that probably has quickened. The pace has quickened because I don't know if that's necessarily stopped the number of pitching changes, but it might have moved some more of those pitching changes to between the innings instead of having the skipper walk out there and make the change there. And man, I mean that's another. You get 7 pitching changes in the middle of an inning, split between the two teams. That's like adding 14 minutes to a game.
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
So that's one aspect. Yeah, they haven't changed that in college ball. Fitzpatrick looks like a loogie because the way he throws, he's got that funky left-handed delivery. So he would be the LOOGY at some point here. JR and Morris thinking Zach Morris, JR and Lowell. Did I say JR and Morris? JR and Lowell says Morris better be hoping he gets the start. See, now that's one thing that I know you're using the midweek games right now. Yeah, you want to win the game, but you're trying to get some pitchers or a couple of pitchers, I think, back to where they either were earlier this year in terms of Cody Adcock or where they were last year in terms of Zach Morris. Because you could see this past weekend that I think there are younger pitchers that have moved ahead of Cody Adcock in the pecking order of who's going to get the ball with the lead. And I don't know if Christian Fouch necessarily has moved ahead of him, but he's the guy that got the call to close out Sunday's game, and Adcock was the one behind him if Fouch got into any trouble. I think Gage Wood has moved ahead. Dylan Carter had moved ahead a while back, and so Adcock was quite often the first guy out of the pen, would inherit runners and go for as long as he could, but he's had the habit of making mistake pitches, quite a lot of them. He's given up 8 home runs in 15 outings and a lot of other, big base hits. So I think that's what you use today's game for. Get Adcock out there, hopefully that he can make better 2-strike pitches. Get Morris out there. And I don't know what's up with Zach. I don't know. I mean, he's just when he throws strikes, it's got a ton of the plate, and then other times he's not throwing strikes. So I don't know. So is it a matter of confidence? Is it a matter of just getting a scoreless inning under your belt and then trying to see what happens next week? I don't know what it is with Zach Morris, but it's one pitcher that they continuously say, got to get him going, but haven't necessarily gotten him going just yet.
Yeah, get a little lucky, get out there, get a strikeout. I think it's mainly between the ears. I don't think the kid forgot how to pitch. I think it's just a matter of motivation and confidence and psychologically getting them right. Just say, whatever the coach has to say to him. This is with your brothers, man. This is what we're out here doing. We're out here winning again. He has talent. He'll figure it out. He just got to get a little confidence.
Matt, I know it's a different sport, but, when you're a quarterback, you're the guy that throws the ball. Was there ever a time in your college career where you just kind of lost the feel for throwing it and had trouble getting it back?
Some would say I never had the feel for throwing it, but, yeah. No, I to what you're saying, I did. I struggled a little bit at the free throw line in basketball. And speaking of that, going to Athens, I got in the game and airballed a free throw. And then kind of mentally, it just took me a little bit to get going. And, guys like Brandon Dean would come up. I'd say, Brandon, I always make one. I'd miss one. He'd come up, pat me on the butt and be like, you said you're going to make the next, make the next. Just whatever you can say to come, because we're all on each other's side. And so that's all you got to do is take a step back and relax a little bit and know that, man, we're all out here fighting for the same thing. We got one goal in mind.
It's not a physical thing with at least not with Zach, because when you show in one season, and he was really good all year.
He can do
last
it.
Year.
Yeah.
He was really good. It's not a physical thing for him. It's like a mental block. And it's not that he's having trouble throwing the ball to the plate like the yips, but he's just not the same pitcher. Do you ever have the yips, golf or football? Otherwise?
Oh, man, you'd be going out, you're getting ready for a 4-ball because I'm an amateur golfer, and you'd be getting ready and you go out and play, and you'd be playing good, and then you'd hit one, and you'd hit it, and you don't say the S word out there on the golf course, and it would just, you're like, what is going on? And then all of a sudden, it'd take 2 weeks before you could hit a golf ball again. So it happens.
You just kind of stand there, and you're like,
there's just no. It's just I remember wanting to quit golf when I was standing on the tee box, and I said, "There's no way I can get a bogey." I was like, if you can't even get a bogey standing on, I was like, I gotta figure something out before you can get back playing, because it's no fun. It's no fun when you can't do it, when you can't compete.
The yips are the weirdest thing. There's a catcher in the 80s and 90s named Mackie Sasser for the Mets, who could throw it to a dime at second base, but couldn't throw it to the pitcher.
I had a buddy that we actually went to the University of Arkansas and played football together, but he was our catcher in 6th, 7th, 8th grade, 9th grade, all that. And 3 times in the same game, he overthrew the second baseman when somebody was stealing, and we got off the game, and we went up there where our folks were sitting, and my dad goes, "Hey, nobody stole center field on you today." That was a good job out there. Nobody stole center field.
Yeah, sometimes a good chuckle might
the best.
Maybe break
he was
it
the
up
best catcher we
you.
had. I mean, he'd throw you out and say he just had a little couple days he couldn't throw it back to the pitcher. He just like throwing it to center field.
Stay with us. We got much more coming up on halftime after this quick break.
Hey, crazy month last month. March, Mitch making us take all that money off them trucks.
Oh, Ryan, Mitch said 8,000 off.
Man, maybe this month would be a lot smoother. Gosh.
Hey guys, I got an idea to make it $10,000 off this month.
How?
We need extra trade-ins, right? With $2,000 trade-in incentives, you get $10,000 off all new 23 Ram Bighorn trucks in stock. If you don't believe us, make that beautiful drive right here to Heber Springs. Check us out online at RedRiverDodge.com during Ram Truck Month.
Finally, baseball is back. Swing into the season with tickets to the action. Plus, with basketball and hockey heating up, now is a great time to experience a game. Vivid Seats is proud to be the official ticketing partner of ESPN. From on the glass to in the stands, Vivid Seats has great ticket prices to all the games. Every crack of the bat, every dribble down the court. Catch it all with Vivid Seats. Download the app or visit vividseats.com today. Vivid Seats. Experience it live.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the used car superstore. Last month, Harry completed the biggest used car sale in store history, and now there are dozens of local trades priced to sell fast. Harry has over 200 late model trucks, SUVs, and cars on the lot. Many are low miles with factory warranty remaining. And as always, nobody will give you more for your trade than Harry Robinson. The used car and truck superstore is Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Would you like to cut your heating bills without cutting comfort, lower your utility costs, while enjoying the reliability and efficiency of a new Luxair HVAC system? Have your contractor call J&B Supply to hook you up with a Luxair system perfectly suited for your home. Luxair provides optimal comfort, energy savings, and lasting performance. J&B Supply, where the professionals go for all their HVAC and plumbing needs since 1968. J&B Supply, with locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and Bentonville.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
The horrible internet days in Charleston are now over. Fast, reliable internet from Wave Rural Connect, now available to those in the city limits of Charleston. Get amazing gigabit internet, TV, and phone services from Wave Rural Connect. And don't forget about the new Wave Connect app for the ultimate experience. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call us at 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Springtime is finally here, and Road Chevrolet in Van Buren has the savings you need. Enjoy a 6-quart full synthetic oil change for $59.95 with a tire rotation at no additional charge. And save money by getting a 4-wheel alignment for only $79.95. To save even more, if you've never met our service manager, Ronald Peters, come and shake his hand and save $20 off any other service. It's as easy as a handshake. Road Chevrolet Van Buren and Rhodes Tire Center. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Moving along on Halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Looking back at where some of the kids who are in the major leagues are from Arkansas baseball right now. Brian Anderson for the Brewers continue to win games, 12-5, hitting .298. Still hasn't hit more home runs. Remember, he had 3 homers in the first 3 games. Well, he's still sitting on 3, but 15 RBIs. Brewers have played some good baseball. Nobody's done it better than the Rays. Although, Matt, I called that first loss last week. Can I have a victory lap for the loss on,
that's an attaboy.
On Friday night?
Yeah, that's an attaboy. Gold star.
I get an attaboy for that one?
Yeah. I call it, yeah.
You start playing some halfway decent teams. Your perfect unbeatable record is going to be beaten. And the Rays have lost, I think it's 3 of the last 4 games. So they're not a perfect team. They're just good. Jalen Beeks is good, too. Former Hog has given up 3 runs in his first 9 innings. The White Sox are not very good. 6-10. Remember, Benny signed it's a 5-year, I think $75 million contract.
Man.
That's a lot of money, and Benny's got to get back to hitting
He's got a sweet
doubles
swing.
and home runs.
Yeah.
He's got a pretty swing, but he's been mostly hitting singles the last couple of years. And I've always viewed Benny not a home run hitter, but a guy that should be hitting in the 290 to 310 range. Usually is a good idea. The strike zone should have that on-base percentage in the 370s to 380s. Great defense, and not just singles, but doubles and the occasional home run, and it hasn't necessarily worked out that way for him. I know he was hurt last year and I think the year before. Watch for Zach Jackson, though. The Oakland, who knows who Jackson will be pitching for in the future, whether it's the Oakland A's or the Las Vegas A's or the Portland A's or whomever. But that's a terrible team. They've lost their first 5 series, 3-14, and Zach Jackson has done well in that time with 9 relief outings, 2 runs in 8 innings. Zach was, of course, the guy who closed out the 2015 Super Regional against Missouri State, and he's carved out a good major league career for him. You know how they'll say the easiest job in football is to be, the third-string quarterback?
Well,
you're never going to get in.
You want to be Peyton Manning's backup. Eli Manning's backup. They didn't. They made like 200.
You want to be Jordan Love. You want to be Aaron Rodgers' backup.
Brett Favre's back. Yeah, the guy that never. They don't get hurt and they're playing. Phillip Rivers, another guy that. Yeah, that's Drew Brees. Some of those guys. Yeah.
Maybe be Jalen Hurts' backup since
Jalen Hurts' backup is not getting a single meaningful rep unless Jalen Hurts wants him to. That's the concept of going from a college to the pros.
That's not quite what James McCann is doing with the Orioles, but in a sense a little bit, because Adley Rutschman is that good as their catcher, and he's their best player. He's the most meaningful player on that team, and I just don't think McCann's going to get an opportunity to catch too often. But, even the best catchers in the game don't catch every game, so McCann will get out there. He's won for his first 11 in 4 games this year. Drew Smyly with the Cubs. Cubs are hanging in there at 9-6, so they had a 20-hit attack yesterday. Cody Bellinger is hitting well, and Smyly pitching well with the Cubs in 3 starts, 1-1 with a .470. Ryan Stanek, who, of course, won the World Series last year with the Astros. That's why people ask me, what do you think? The Pirates are going to do this, they're going to do that. Look at how they've started. Look, the Astros are under 500. They're 8-9. That's the best team in the game. Going to be the best team in the game again. And Stanek has pitched well for them, but they're 8-9. He's thrown 1 inning per outing, 7 times out, 1-1 record, 4 runs allowed. Trevor Stephan, 2017. That's the last Arkansas pitcher until I think Fouch right now that throws the splitter. Remember seeing Stephan throw the splitter in the 2017 season, and he's carving a good relief career for himself. In fact, he's tied with Zach Jackson for most relief outings, 9, 8 1/3 innings, 1 run. Slims, you could throw the split-fingered fastball.
David Watkins.
You've got the shoulder. You've had the shoulder issue in your life, right?
I had labrum surgery. Yeah.
So maybe you don't want to throw the splitter.
My shoulder, it does. I can't throw. It's all. Yeah. It's.
But you got the big hands to do it.
No. So in ninth, ninth grade, David Watkins, former Razorback, he was the coach at Van Buren, where last year I played baseball, and start learning pitches, and I didn't want to throw a curve, so I had a fastball, 2-seam and 4-seam, and then I had a changeup that's like a circle change, and then I had a split finger change, and he was like. I was like, Coach, I can throw it, and so he's like, whatever, okay, go ahead, but try, they don't believe you yet, it's like everybody's like, I run a 4.4, and they're like, yeah, whatever, okay, and so I throw it like 2 or 3 times. He's like, all right, you can throw it in the game then, like he wants to make sure you can do it. Was able to get it over the plate, so I bet I didn't throw it 5 times in a game, but yeah.
Did your splitter split? Well, they'll say a curveball.
It had some
curves,
late movement
right?
on it, yeah.
Well, a curveball curves, that makes sense. A sinking fastball sinks. That makes sense. So they say a splitter splits. No, the splitter drops and tumbles.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the forkball would fork, and that kind of sounds a little bit dirty. But the splitter should dive. Is that what your splitter did?
When I might have had a couple do that. Yeah, that it was more of a. It definitely just kind of held its own, but it was kind of just. But it would fall a little bit. Yeah, I'm not saying I could throw it that grade. I was in 9th grade, but yeah, it did its thing.
And at 9th grade, if I tried to put a baseball between my fingers like that, it would have fallen right out.
Yeah, yeah.
I could get it in there now, but I don't think I could throw that.
We
pitch.
had
That's
a game.
Always the pitch we tried to throw. We tried to throw knuckleballs, and we tried to throw splitters. Never in a game because we never knew where those suckers were going.
I couldn't throw a knuckleball, but we had another catcher there, and we were playing a game in Cedarville, and one of the kids was showboating. One of the kids on the Cedarville team, and I didn't even see it. And the catcher comes up to me and goes, hey, he's leading off the top of the 3rd or 4th, whatever it was. He goes, you're going to hit him. You got to hit. I was like, what? It's like he goes, you're throwing right at him.
You're going to hit him.
Yeah, and so, of course, you throw right, just, it's like whatever you say, team player. Or, yeah, I didn't even see what's going on, but when Coach said, when they tell you to do it, you got to do it.
Bubba refers to that every once in a while on the broadcast, because he played in that. He played in one of the last eras of pro baseball where that was a thing.
You had some etiquette.
You wouldn't automatically get thrown out.
Yeah.
Well, that was how a pitcher would defend his teammates sometimes.
Yep.
Another way to do it would be drag bunt. If you get hit by a pitch, well, then sometimes the next batter or one of your batters would drag bunt along the first base line. And when the pitcher comes over to field it, you take that sucker out.
Yeah.
Well, you're getting thrown out of the game at the same time, too. Those are the kind of things nobody does anymore.
Well, that's why I like the National League. If you're the pitcher and you hit a batter, hey, you get to go stand in the batter's box, too, next. And so they're going to throw.
Not anymore.
Yeah, I know. I like that mentality about it, though. And the pitcher should have to hit, man. We're all athletes out here. It's
That's the one aspect of pitchers hitting that I do agree with. Is that they face no possible retribution if they don't hit. Otherwise, the drag bunt is the one thing I said, or you could try to hit the ball back at them, or you could just charge the mound, and then you're getting thrown out of the game anyway.
Right. Yeah.
That's the one way to do it. I've never called a bench clearing brawl. I called Dave Van Horn and Tony Vitello going nose to nose. That felt like it was going to bubble over for a moment, but it never quite got there.
Did he ever say what toothpaste he used? I figured they got so close there. If he likes Breath Mints or Jolly Ranchers, whatever
I would sometimes I wish other people would do my pregame interviews with Dave Van Horn other than me, so that they could ask him that question. You should come down with me next time you come to a baseball game. I don't know if you can make it tonight, but I'll introduce you to Dave Van Horn. I'm sure he's heard of you. And you can do the pregame interview.
Not during season.
I'll just stand there.
That's out of season. During the season, he seems a little too serious. I'd be.
Let's do it during a regional game. Let's do it during a super regional championship game. Absolutely. No, there are a moment like Dave's got a different personality depending on the game and what's happened the day before. Friday it's like this is where the weekend starts.
Setting the tone.
There's a certain intensity to him, and I mean, he can joke and all of that, and no matter in certain situations, but I can always tell based on the way he'll greet me, and then based on the first answer. If you lose that Friday game, you better come with some extra questions for the Saturday, and if you go 0-2. That Sunday interview sometimes feels just a little bit tense. And it's nothing between me and him. It's just That's just kind of the way that he might show up at the ballpark.
Well, it's a business, man. You're trying to win, and I think this team does take on the identity of his coach, and they do play like how Dave Van Horn wants them to play.
Well, he liked to joke a little bit on Sunday after taking the first 2 at Tennessee. So it's like, I love when the Razorbacks win baseball games. I really do. It's so much different than in the minor leagues where, yeah, the guys won a game, they felt good about it, but you moved on from it the next day, and it really wasn't like a big thing.
Bill, you did not want to lose games at Jacksonville. Like you were.
I'll bet.
Man, when you lose that whole week of work, like it's just better to win. So let's win. Everybody's just in a little better mood.
And that's another reason why I love baseball and the day-to-day aspect.
You don't have that whole week lag, yeah.
You can flush a loss and move on. Now, I'll also say this. Sometimes the losses compound. So if you have a 2-week losing streak in football, that's got to be miserable. That's 2 games. I've been around a baseball team that had a 2-week losing streak.
Lose 9 in a row or something.
Sucks.
Yeah.
I saw a team lose 15 in a row.
Ugh.
Heck, I saw the Razorbacks in 2016
even if you win one,
16.
it doesn't. Yeah, even if you've lost 15 in a row and then you win 2, you haven't done anything. You're still so far in the hole that it doesn't even feel good.
Yeah, you look at that and be like, yeah, well, that's a mirage. How are we going to lose tomorrow's game? by then, I mean, I'd get a little snotty about it with the minor league teams. I'd never do it with the Razorbacks, but it'd be like, all right, when do I refer to them as the Thomas Edisons of losing? You just invent a new way to lose every single day, and I've seen teams that can pull that off. You know what this Arkansas baseball team is right now? They're the opposite of that. They're like the Thomas Edison of winning games because they can beat you in a game where they can outpitch you. They can beat you in a game where they can outslug you. Now, I will say this. I haven't seen Arkansas win a game where both teams are in double digits. And every once in a while in college baseball, that game rears up. It happened in 2021, 18-14 against Ole Miss. Heck, it happened twice in the Stillwater Regional, losing one and winning one. And that's why the next day I ended up making a bet that I shouldn't have made and said I was going to eat my shoe if nobody scored 10 runs. Nobody scored 10 runs in that game. So thankfully the folks at Harp's Bakery made me a shoe cake. So that's one thing that I haven't seen yet is them, first of all, to play in a game where there's double-digit runs by both teams. And truthfully, like maybe I would have expected to see something like that by now because scoring is up, home runs are up. I think I saw where in college baseball this year the average is 1.83 home runs per game. And you haven't seen levels like that in this sport since the Gorilla Ball days and the year that Marshall McDougal had a 6-homer game, and it was 1998. And that's the year where home runs started to come down a little bit because they made some changes to the bats and eventually a big change to the ball, and then pitchers dominated for a number of years until they changed the makeup of the ball, and now it seems like the ball is back to being maybe a little bit smaller than it should or a little firmer, so balls are flying out of the parks. Heck, there was a ball hit over 500 feet by a Wichita State hitter last weekend, 505 feet. And I watched the video of it, and the way he hit the ball, like you can't tell, I guess, watching on a video, but looking at it was like, you telling me that one went 505 feet? No college player should be hitting a ball that far unless they're using a lightning bat. Like the longest home run I've ever seen was in Home Run Derby in Pittsburgh at the 94 All-Star game. No, this was Frank Thomas.
Yeah.
Griffey was in that All-Star game.
He did the Baltimore one, though, where go ahead.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they use a different ball for the Home Run Derby because they want home runs and they want people with their tongues hanging out. So I saw Frank Thomas hit a ball off the facade of the upper deck at Three Rivers State. Nobody ever hit a ball up there before. It's like they're using Home Run Derby balls in college baseball right now.
Yeah.
No college player should hit a ball 500 feet. I saw Elander, the third base coach for Tennessee, when he was the student assistant at Arkansas. He hit a ball like this was at Auburn, and this was every once in a while. After the team works out on the road, there'll be an extra round of batting practice for staff members. That's where Dave Van Horn threw at me one time and laughed about it. And then I hit the next ball over shortstop. But Elander, I mean, he was a great college catcher, and he was a 6th-round draft choice of the Braves, and he's just as strong as an ox. And they handed him one of the old lightning bats. And Dave threw to him from the mound. This is at Auburn's Plainsman Park. And Elander hit a ball that, I've never heard it sound like this. It sounded like as it went off into the distance, like a rocket
like the
taking
cover
off.
was tearing off. Yeah.
And it hit the top of the video board way out there in left center field. And that's what you're seeing now. You're seeing balls kind of do that now in college baseball, and that should not happen. I tell you what should happen, a break. A break is what should happen right now. Brought to you by Roller Funeral Homes. Arkansans have voted Roller Funeral Homes best of the best for 23 consecutive years in the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette poll, readership poll. Generations of families have recognized the Roller difference, and they know that when they call on Roller, they will receive all their respect. The Roller family has dedicated their lives to ensuring your family receives compassionate care when you need it most. From life insurance policies, prepaid funerals, and cemetery markers, RollerFuneralHomes.com is where you can find all the information that your family needs. We'll wrap up the second hour of halftime after this very quick break.
Where do you go when you're ready to buy a vehicle?
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Remember this top 10 hit from 1983? Boy George, I Think You've Got It. It's Church of the Poison Mind by Culture Club. The culture is continuing to poison the minds of our youth by clubbing them with everything but the truth. But when we heed God's word, He gives us the solution to all the gender confusion. The true poison is believing that evil is good and good is evil. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Get analysis of every play, prop, and point at BetOnline. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to sign up and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Be sure to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV. BetOnline.ag, where the game starts. When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
Every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
So we're a brewery in Ashburn, Virginia, Old Ox Brewery, has come out with a new IPA called By Dan IPA, saying goodbye to Dan Snyder. Well, he's still the owner of the Washington Commanders, but he's reached in principle a deal to sell them to Josh Harris, owner of the Sixers. Magic Johnson is in that group.
I think I saw there was a crystal. Was there a soccer owner in that group too? I need to check that out. That's pretty wild.
Well, you got to put these. I mean, it's not one person going to put the money together. I guess for this, you need a whole team of it. I like the description that Brewer owner Chris Burns has of this By Dan IPA. He says, quote, "So it's very tropical, almost like your mouth is on vacation, because it tastes too good to be true. It is an IPA, and typically IPAs are a little bitter to commemorate 23 years of bitterness." It's good. It's good. Yeah, they're going to celebrate this sale like they won the Super Bowl in the D.C. area. I'm telling you, the Commanders are back. Not this year, but in the near future, they're going to look what happened when Magic Johnson led the group that bought the Dodgers. They won They won 8 straight division championships, and have a World Series or 2 thrown in there. You know, Magic's like the one former. Well, so Elway won a couple of the Super Bowls, right?
Elway's a GM. I think he was more of a GM role. Like John Lynch is at San Francisco in that GM role. You know, yeah, some of that.
I'm trying to think of like other former players that enjoyed success.
Because Jordan didn't really have success as an owner. Would you say his tenure's been success? Didn't he sell his team? Was it success?
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they've made the playoffs in the time that he's been the owner of the Charlotte Hornets. Mario Lemieux's Penguins won 3 Stanley Cups while he was the owner, but he's not the owner anymore. And I read where there's a kind of a spat between him and the new ownership group, which is the Fenway Sports Group that owns the Boston Red Sox.
They own some of Liverpool.
Roush Fenway Racing.
Yeah.
And there you go. See, we've got a connection here between. You're not a Liverpool fan, right?
I like Liverpool. Yeah.
You're okay with Liverpool?
Yeah,
all right. So the Liverpool and the
not
Penguins
an Arsenal
have a
fan.
In common
not an Arsenal. Yeah, there's more teams that you don't want to win than you do. Yeah.
So now that Dan Snyder won't own the Washington Commanders any longer, who else could be in the category of worst ownership in professional sports? There's some major league owners that I could think of. Maybe Jim Irsay with the Colts. Maybe
his whole
John
deal was
Fisher.
really weird. Yeah, all the stuff that came out with Irsay, it was really weird.
Yeah, he's odd. He's very odd. I got an interesting split in the teams that I love. The Steelers have a great ownership group. The Pirates, it's one of the worst in the game. So I like that I work for the Razorbacks. Nobody owns them but you. Third hour of Halftime's right after this.
Have you recently experienced possible hail damage to your roof? Is it just time to replace the one you currently have? Brothers Roofing and Restoration is a properly licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Brother Alexander has over 25 years of experience in home insurance and adjusting and residential roofing. Brothers Roofing Crew has 17 years of experience themselves. He provides free estimates with the most competitive pricing in the area while using the industry's best materials. So call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother to inspect your roof.
The cold and flu seasons are here, and Law's Drug Store has what you need to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all the over-the-counter cold and flu remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointments for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Greenwood Collision is ready to serve as everyone assesses the damage from the recent storms. They will gladly work with all insurance companies and make the process of getting your vehicle back to new as painless as possible. Greenwood Collision is direct repair for most insurance companies and provides a lifetime warranty on all work. Let them do all the work for you. Call Chris or Joe today at Greenwood Collision at 996-9922 or stop by their location at 2615 West Center Street in Greenwood. High-Tech Truck Refrigeration Service is all about God, family, and our country, and they proudly display the red, white, and blue. At High-Tech, they specialize in truck and trailer repair, service, and are certified in refrigeration repair. And every day, give thanks to those who have served our country and paid the ultimate sacrifice for folks like you and me. High-Tech Truck Refrigeration Service, located in Van Buren at 6410 Alma Highway or at 479-474-2220.
Remember sitting in math class thinking, I am never going to need to know the difference between fractions like 1/3 and 1/4. Well, you owe your 6th grade math teacher an apology. At Mock Legal Solutions, we are offering a special on all car wreck cases. Sign up in the months of April or May, and we will take 25% as our fee instead of the usual 1/3. Call us today, 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price. No win, no fee.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we should see a bounty of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon into the upper 70s, mainly clear, mid-50s tonight. I think we'll see partial sunshine on Wednesday. Our high upper 70s to near 80. Thursday, showers and thunderstorms will be likely. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
When it comes to your auto repairs, call W&W Automotive at 242-1600.
Radio station.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith, from the Busch Light Studios. This is ESPN 95.3.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! On three! 1, 2, 3! Turn that back, you
Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I was waiting to get the first Jerry Jones is the worst owner in team sports text. JT in Hot Springs sent that. I don't know if he said he's the worst. Go back to JT's text here. Says, I love him in his team, but Jerry Jones is an owner. I hate the way he runs his team. So he didn't say that he's the worst. I don't think Jerry Jones is the worst owner in sports because he tries. I guess Dan Snyder tried, but all he ended up doing was running that team into the ground. He also tried to do a lot of other things that were under the table and illegal, and I think he's just a schmuck. So, but at least, I mean, it's like, so what's worse about an owner? An owner that fails by throwing money around left and right, or an owner that pockets the money and doesn't try? Because that's the kind of owner that I can't stand. Those are the major league owners that don't deserve to have teams. Cincinnati, Oakland, Pittsburgh, a couple of others I can think of. These teams are not trying to win, and they've not tried to win in years. So, Dan Snyder, as slimy and smarmy and disgusting of a human being as he might be, he did try to win, just didn't do a good job of that. It's the same with Jerry Jones.
You got to have relegation. There's no, everybody gets equal parts of the pie really in the NFL. All owners, they get equal cuts. So there's no really, I don't know how baseball is. There's no motivation to. You don't have to try to win. You can just put a team out there and be like, yeah, we can try a little. I mean, you don't necessarily have to because you're not going anywhere. You're part of the group. You're playing every year.
Well, it's like you pointed out. You brought it up yesterday about the relegation battle in the
most expensive game in
League,
sports. Yeah,
the most expensive game in sports because that decides your revenues for the next year. You drop down a division, you're losing money.
$100 million
You're losing
game.
a lot of money.
Yeah, it's wild. I don't know. I'd say you'd want an owner that would at least throw some money around, try to get some things done. You just got to go about it the right way. You need to put your right staff that can evaluate talent. You got to put the right people around you because it's not that hard. It's weird. It's the same people keep on winning. Like it's kind of weird. Like the Steelers keep on winning. Bill Belichick keeps on winning. It's like the same. Shanahan. You look at the coaching tree. The guys that are Andy Reid. Like these are the same coaches that keep on winning.
You describe ownership in, at least in American professional sports, as an exclusive fraternity because, I mean, let's be honest, they're all men, just about, and they all have. Not a lot of us understand what life is like for people that have the kind of money that they can spend to buy
live in
a
a different
professional
planet.
sports franchise.
Yeah,
they do. They live in a different planet, live in a bubble. So I don't know what it's like to have that kind of money or what it would be like to try to spend it or anything like that. But I do know this. It's tough to get kicked out of those fraternities. It's like I saw somebody say, why do you think Dan Snyder hasn't been forced to sell the team by now? Well, because all the other NFL owners are like, no, keep that guy there because this franchise stinks while he owns them. Now he's been embarrassed enough to the point where you've got like a congressional investigation about the franchise and their business practices. And
well, a lot of them too.
Now get out while you can. I mean, I think he paid under $1 billion for this team. They're going to sell him for $6 billion. So is he really being punished or not?
Man, that's wild. Yeah.
Isn't that amazing to think about? You run the franchise into the ground. You never won a darn thing with that team. You lost fans. You harassed cheerleaders. You swindled your fans out of money. You swindled the freaking NFL commissioner out of money. With that whole personal seat license.
Played RG3 when he shouldn't have played, ruined his career.
All of those things.
Yeah.
All of those things. And because he bought the team at the right time and is selling it now, he's going to be making a profit of over $5 billion.
Well, a lot of those kids too. A lot of those guys feel that's kind of they just want to play the game. They have other business. They're not sports guys to begin with. They just think it's cool. They're like, yeah, I can do this. And it's wild how much money they have, but they don't really they understand competition in the business sense or whatever their profession is, but they don't really get the whole evaluating of talent. And it's not just analytics. It's not. You got to still have that personal input. The human element is a lot of times that they disregard that.
Did you ever? Now, Wayne Weaver was the owner.
Oh,
of the
OG
Jaguars when
Wayne.
he played
Yeah,
there.
Wayne's man.
OG
He's cool.
Wayne.
Him and his wife, man. They were great people around the community. I think he made his money by shoe carnivals and TJ Maxx's. He was one of the first investors in that. But man, he was cool. He was a great owner. Just. You talk about Athens, Georgia feel. Like he had that feel of just slow down time, like everything was cool. He was a good owner. Him and his wife were both super sweet to me, yeah. And I talked to him twice. They were around all the time, but like it's not like we just sit around and talked, like that. But you saw him, you saw her more. Mrs. Weaver was there. She worked with the cheerleaders or the Palm Squad or whatever that would be, and then a lot of the charity events, like if you were doing things to help raise money or community service and stuff like that for the team, like any type of thing you can do, like a canned food drive or whatever all that stuff is. Like she was always the one that was kind of helping you out.
877-377-6963. We're taking your votes for two things now. Worst owner in professional, or hey, we can go the positive route. Who's the best owner in professional sports? And what does the Jordan Walsh video that he tweeted out yesterday mean? The 30-second Federico Fellini-style video clip with the dramatic music in the background, the decision video that said nothing at all about a decision. What does it mean? Does it mean he's staying? Does it mean he's going? Does it mean nothing at all? And we've had a lot of texts come in here, and still most people are on your side here, Matt. They think that this video means that he's back. that he's coming back. Can I just ask, like, if he does come back, can we do this again next year so we can have a full show of
you know what's
prep
funny
for
is
him to give to us?
He probably still won't be ready next year. That is the thing. But like he's just a baby, man. He's such a good athlete and so talented. It's okay, man. It's okay. Just man, it's not about getting there first. It's about getting there at the right time and being a first round pick. But he's not ready this year. That's for sure.
You know, and there'll be conversations in a couple of months, 2.5 months or so, 3 months for the Major League draft, with Major League Baseball draft. It was a totally different thing. It's a whole different thing. Yeah, in that case, you know, if you choose to go to college out of high school and you might have been a guy that could get some money, well, when you get into college, then you go when the iron is hot. Then you strike when the iron is hot, because you only get the year of, really the 1 year of leverage to say, well, I'm going to go back to college if you don't meet these demands. So you see so many players that, I mean, nobody ever leaves college baseball ready for Major League Baseball. Nobody.
But they have minor league system. It's a totally different process.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That is exactly right. And you don't want to, like, nobody wants to be drafted into the NBA and then spend their first 3 or 4 years in the G League. That's not why you went into the NBA draft. The Major League Baseball players, you know, college ball players, high school players, you know what you're getting into when
it's just work.
When you sign with a Major League Baseball team.
Don't get it wrong. It's pretty cool if you go to the G League and play, but you're not going to be playing Kentucky in February. You're not going to be playing an SEC tournament game. You're not going to be playing a March Madness game. You're going to be playing in front of 3,000 people. I mean, everybody's going to be out for their own self. It's not about winning, and if you're in the G League, or it's not about that. It's about just improving your game so you can get to the next level. You kind of take the team element out of it. It's just it's hard to watch.
Well, to put it in
sometimes.
college basketball terms, it's like, so the NBA is the NCAA tournament. That's what everybody wants to play in when you get into college. The G League is the NIT. That nobody thought that they were going to have to play in, but yeah, you're there, so you might as well play while you're there.
Yeah, it's an opportunity to play.
People at your championship game.
And like, yeah, if the bridges are done, you can't play college ball anymore, and you got to play in the G League, or you got to go overseas. My thing is just chill out, like take your time and don't be in such a hurry.
Brendan Van Buren thinks that Jordan Walsh is staying, so I'll chalk him up to another vote that he's staying. He says Walsh is just a showman. I like the video. I don't know if I think Jordan Walsh is a showman necessarily.
He's a reserved. He's a reluctant star, man. Yeah.
He's not a showy.
He's not a hey look at me guy. Yeah.
That's why this thing kind of came a little bit out of left field. Oh, here's a good text out of the 479. Rachel Phelps is the worst owner of all time. She was the owner of the Cleveland Indians in the movie Major League.
There you go.
Yeah. She ended up being a great owner. She just didn't even realize it. Stay tuned. We're going to talk a lot of Arkansas Razorback football with Danny West from hogsports.com right after this.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line podcast network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Get the best value, service, and TV locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Stop in and ask us about the Hopper 3, Dish's most advanced DVR that delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now. WOW World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details. Or online at shopwownow.com. World of Wireless is located at 601 Church Street in Barling next to Frank Rowe Furniture. That's 601 Church Street in Barling. Come see us at our new location.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
50% off. That's right, 50% off starting April the 1st at Frank Roll Furniture. A one-time offer for the month of April. 50% off all in-stock sofa, love seats, sectionals, and recliners. We need to move it quick due to truckloads coming. This sectional, $21.99, now $1,100. Sofa love, $23.19, now $11.60. This recliner, $451, now $226. Main USA cash and carry furniture sale. Get it while it lasts. Frank Roll Furniture. Best seats in the house.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah? Who's gonna clean that big house?
We'll hire a housekeeper.
And who's gonna mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood carpool.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's gonna sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
Peace of mind in buying a quality and well-maintained vehicle is top priority at Carco Auto Sales. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley and eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and offers a variety of late model, low-mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard today or give them a call at 783-1722. You can check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales. When you're ready.
The toms are a goblin, and spring turkey season is one of the best times of the year. Gelco Outdoors has all the gear to help you bag that big old long beard. Box calls, pot calls, mouth calls, decoys, camo clothing, vest, chairs, blinds, locator calls, snake boots, gloves, face masks, thermocells, and bug spray. If you need it in the turkey woods, Gelco Outdoors has it for you. Best of luck to all turkey hunters this spring. Shop local. Shop Gelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
It's been a little bit since we've been able to talk with Danny West from hogsports.com, 24/7 Sports Network. Danny, miss you, man. How you doing?
Hey, man, missed y'all too. Always fun to be back on with you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, that's right. Well, I got to ask you a couple of the questions we've gotten to earlier in the show today. Got the tragic news about the untimely passing of former Arkansas defensive lineman Chris Smith. Man, it's only been like 12 or 13 years since he even came to campus to play for the Razorbacks under Bobby Petrino, and then finished his career under Brett Bielema. You get to know these guys, when they're making their college decisions, and then when they're here as well. I know it's got to be tough news for everybody, but especially those who got to know him a little bit, like I think you did.
Sure. Yeah, it has been tough. The last 24 hours or so, Chris, I mean, I'm like anybody else. If you spent 5 minutes around him, I don't know how well you guys knew him, but, I mean, he's just infectious with his smile and his laugh. He was in that 2010 class, which was a year prior to when I went full-time as, recruiting coverage. But I was an intern and had dealt with him. And, of course, once he got on campus, we interviewed him all the time. And everybody loved Chris. And I hadn't talked to him in a few years. But just a pretty incredible story. He worked his butt off. He was a 3-star guy out of North Carolina, chose Arkansas, which is really rare in itself. You don't see Arkansas go into Carolina a lot. And came in here, worked his butt off, a little bit undersized, and lo and behold, I think he made 7 or 8 years in the league there. So says a lot about him, and I know he's going to be missed. He was just a really, really good dude.
Yeah, 72 games in the NFL. That's a decent length to an NFL career, no doubt. The other thing I got to ask you about is this Jordan Walsh video. And I know we're also interested in what the future looks like, for the near future, for what this roster looks like. And I don't know none of us know what to make of this Jordan Walsh video. So I'm keeping a scoreboard of what the video means. Most people think that means he's coming back. There are 3 people that think that he's gone based on the video, and then there's a few that agree with me that he's just messing around and the video doesn't mean anything. What did you glean from this?
As somebody who sees a lot of social media recruiting type videos, that one definitely stood out. I don't understand where in the world we were going with it. But Phil, I tend to agree with you. I think, the logo, wearing the logo, you don't see many announcements before an announcement unless they're staying or picking the home state school. That's been my experience. Now, nowadays you can never tell for sure. He may be gone, and I couldn't tell you. But just the vibe I got from that, it felt to me like typically you don't see an announcement before an announcement unless they're sticking around or staying close to home. But, who knows? I guess we'll find out pretty soon.
Yeah, I think he's staying. I'm a Jordan Walsh fan too, Danny. Just the way he goes about it. Yeah. Hey, so did you get to check out this spring game? I just wanted to talk to you about how the running backs looked first, and what you thought about these 3 running backs we got coming back.
Yeah, I like them, Matt. It's probably the deepest, top to bottom 5 guys that I've seen since probably Petrino's tenure here, when he had a bunch of dudes, Ronnie Wingo, all those guys, Dennis, and Niall Davis, a bunch of them. And this one may be deeper than that one. It's impressive to me that they've been able to hold on to them. To be honest, you don't see that a lot anymore. There's probably 3 or 4 guys there that could probably go be the guy at a lot of places. I think it says a lot about them. But yeah, really impressed with the running back group. I was just sitting here a minute ago watching that replay of Rocket Sanders on the stiff arm. I don't know how Jalen Lewis might feel about that one going out on social, but man, that's pretty tough run there. And then you look up and you still got A.J. Green. A lot of people forget about A.J. I know he's a guy that frustrates you a little bit sometimes he'll get stalled up at the line of scrimmage, but man, you give him 10 carries, he's liable to break one at some point, so he's a home run guy. You got DeBinion, who I thought was really impressive as a true freshman. Now you hope to get back a really healthy Dominique Johnson. We saw 2 years ago what he can bring in terms of running through people and bringing a physical edge there. And then, of course, Isaiah Augustave out of Florida, 4-star guy that you're adding in last year's class. You think some of these guys are talented. Wait till you see this one. He could have gone anywhere. And I think people will be really excited about Isaiah, who he'll be joining the program later this summer.
What do you make of the offensive line that you at least saw? Because it sounds like they kind of settled on most of the positions outside of maybe right guard. And when I know that the defensive line got after the quarterback quite a bit, and that line looked really good in the spring game. But that also, whenever there's a scrimmage, if one side of the ball does well, sometimes that makes me worry about the other side of the ball.
Yeah.
So I heard so much about the defensive line, I'm worried about the offensive line.
Yep, catch-22. We see it every spring, don't we, Phil? And this year was no different. I've kind of learned throughout the years to just don't put a whole lot of stock into spring. You never know what they're hiding. You never know what they're experimenting with, and things change so often that, I think it's good for the guys when they do as much kind of cross-training as Arkansas has done this spring with the O-line, trying to find out who fits best where. And I think that's going to pay dividends. But in the meantime, while you're sitting there watching it, it can be rough at times. A guy's in his second or third day flipping over from right side to left or from guard to tackle. It can get a little bit hairy. It is the SEC. So I don't put a ton of stock into it, Matt. But, I don't think it's surprising that Arkansas right now is starting to target some of these guys in the transfer portal. I think that interior spot is one that they probably hoped to have wrapped up by one of these guys, especially the right guard spot. Of course, you got Bo Limmer at center. I think they feel really good about that. But now they've gone out and started kind of targeting transfers. We've seen them offer Jaden Muskrat from Tulsa. He's a 6'3", 307 center. And, the way I look at that, I think they would probably prefer to leave Bo at center and maybe potentially bring in a center and have him play guard, or vice versa. If he's better than Bo at center, so be it. I think it would give you some options there, but I think they're happy with Josh Braun, who came in from Florida, obviously, this offseason. He finished up as the first team, or went out with the first unit anyway, in the spring game. So he's still one that I think they feel good about. But, yeah, Jaden Muskrat, probably a really intriguing target for Arkansas right now. Obviously, I don't want to say obviously, not everybody knows this, but he's actually from Bentonville West, or he graduated there, and before he went to Tulsa, and had a pretty good career over there through 20 games so far. So keep an eye on that name. Wouldn't shock me if he comes in for a visit. He's got a lot of offers already: Penn State, Auburn, Virginia Tech, a few. And then you got Troy Everett at Appalachian State, another guy, 6'3", 285, 290, interior type. Colton Deary from Maryland, obviously connections with Dan Enos there. He's 6'4", 295, probably going to be an interior guy, but I think he was projected to be their starter at center at Maryland this year. So probably another guy that Arkansas is really, really interested in right now.
Danny, I think McAdoo's going to be a star. I think he's going to have a big year, whether it is, and he's a guy that you can kind of move him wherever. As far as you just want him out there. What else do we need on that back end? Are with these last 8 scholarships? Are we going to be able to get any D-backs, or where do you see us going?
Well, I think they better, Matt. I mean, I think they need them.
I do too. I think we need a safety, Danny. Yeah.
Yeah, probably 2, man. If you could find one who's a true safety and maybe one who can play nickel and allow Al Walcott to play safety or nickel, give yourself more options there, I'd be a fan of that. But at corner, buddy, I think they've come a long way there. Now, I'm not saying they're DBU all of a sudden, but I think they have improved that room quite a bit. You mentioned McAdoo. Yeah, I mean, you start to think back at that 2022 class of 3 4-star wide receivers. You had McAdoo come in, you had Isaiah Satania, and Sam Bakke. All 3 were 4-star wide receivers. Of course, Quincy flipped over last year midway through the year and really, in my opinion, became their best cover corner as a true freshman receiver. So what does that tell you? And then, we saw Isaiah and Sam, obviously, on Saturday, both of those guys making plays. So, yeah, I like that group in particular. That 22 class is starting to really shine. But I think they've come a long way at the corner spot. I would still say probably 2 safeties and a nickel, so maybe a total of 3 if you could somehow squeeze in 3. I don't know if they've got the numbers available still, but I would take at least 2 back there. I think they can still help themselves. The problem is right now I'm not seeing a ton of them going into the portal. There's a few guys I'm kind of watching right now. I can run through their names. Josh DeBerry, he's a Boston College transfer. He's got 1 year of eligibility remaining. He could play corner or nickel for you. 39 career games there. Antonio Carter from Rhode Island, of all places, redshirt junior. I think he's got 2 years left. He's already been offered by Kentucky, Louisville, Baylor, Virginia. 6'1", 200 guy who I think he's played mostly corner, but again, that nickel spot's so important at Arkansas. He's probably a guy who could do it both. I think they're at least taking a look at him.
With Muss and this transfer portal, yeah, Danny, do you think that could be another way to go, is looking around some of the smaller schools that aren't SEC schools, but with these caliber athletes that have 40 games playing Division I football that you can get to and bring them into an SEC school instead of a guy. Nothing against high school kids, but they haven't been through 3 off-season programs.
That's right, and it's a really good point. I think a lot of people forget about it. But you look back at John Ridgway a couple years ago from Illinois State. I mean, who in the world would have thought he'd be a fifth-round pick at Illinois State? You know, a lot of those guys, they prove themselves. And a lot, too, Matt, comes down to late bloomers. You know, we see it all the time. Kid, he may not be an SEC-type guy coming out of high school, but 3 years, 4 years later, he's a grown man. And, you know, I think once you prove yourself, Sam Pittman's really big on that. I've always said that in terms of transfers, he either wants a really big body or a big body of work or both. And a lot of these guys seem to have it all. But, yeah, I think there's a lot to be said for that. Big sample size of what you can do, you know, in a college atmosphere. I think that's really important to Arkansas just based on the trends we've seen so far, and you're starting to see more of it. You think about guys like Ridgway and Antonio Carter here that we're talking about. Man, they can go just about anywhere coming out of places that we don't really talk a whole lot about.
Well, now this year that would be Armstrong, the receiver from A&M Commerce, and
That's
Isaac
right.
Tesla,
the
kid from Hillsdale College, coming up from Division II. You know, I mean, it's fascinating to see how they've, you know, rebuilt this wide receiver core. I know Tyrone Broden from Bowling Green actually got on the field for spring game. I thought he was badly hurt with a knee injury, but it looks like he's recovered. Satania, you know, really good reports on Satania. I'm interested to see what Bakke can do this next year. Wide receiver is kind of a really interesting position this season.
It is, yeah, and you know, I failed to mention the transfers there that you did, but man, they're impressive. You know, they're huge, is what I'm getting at. They're all 6'4" or taller, it seems. Bakke is no difference. Of course, he was a high school signee, but yeah, really big group outside of like Isaiah and maybe Jaden Wilson or Bryce Stevens, some of those guys like that. But top to bottom, that's a really big wide receiver group. I was really impressed with Bakke myself, as well as the guy you mentioned there, Andrew Armstrong. There we go, out of Texas A&M Commerce. I thought looks to me like he's had a really good spring, and you know, we'll see over the summer who starts to separate themselves. But I'm with you. I think the depth is there, the talent's there, and you know, wide receiver is probably one of the positions that you can make that transition to the bigger conference, bigger competition level a little bit easier. You know, if you can run and catch and block and do those things against, you know, AA, whatever the case might be, you could probably do it in the SEC too, as long as you can figure out the playbook, and it seems like some of those guys are.
Danny's got a column on Hog Sports right now that'll detail any of the transfers that Arkansas is looking at right now. It's a VIP article, so you need to have a subscription. It's worth it for the subscription to Hog Sports. Danny, I want to ask about KJ Jackson, quarterback commit. He committed, looks like it was 9 days ago. He's out of Montgomery, Alabama. We like quarterbacks named KJ at Arkansas. What about this one?
Pretty wild, ain't it? I mean, how many times are we going to screw that up over the next few years? But really a good kid. I like KJ quite a bit. He came to camp last June. I thought he threw it really, really well in front of Kendall Browse that way. And truth be told, I thought they were going to offer him that day, and they didn't. So I thought that was interesting. And then Dan Enos comes in. He starts evaluating these 2024 quarterbacks, and took him about a month, maybe 6 weeks to offer KJ, but KJ was really fired up about it. I think he really enjoyed his time up here last summer. They made a strong impression on him that really kind of never went away. So after Dan Enos went to work on him, I think it was pretty much well written. I know North Carolina was really tough competition for him there as a co-finalist, but once he made that second trip in March back to Fayetteville, I think it was pretty much a done deal then. And, of course, he sealed the deal shortly thereafter. But a left-handed guy, that's going to be kind of fun to watch. Of course, Enos has plenty of experience with that, with Tua and some of the guys he's coached. And I think that meant a lot to KJ, you know, just being an Alabama kid. He's from Montgomery, SEC state. It doesn't get any more SEC than the state of Alabama. So I'm sure that meant quite a bit to him. But 6'3", 215, probably not the runner that Jefferson was coming out of high school, but definitely a guy with some escapability and can throw on the run and a lot of those things. And I'll tell you this too, guys, one of the nicest guys I've dealt with so far in this year's class. He's really impressive. I think he's polished already. You could tell he's done a million interviews with recruiting writers, and he's just, I can't say enough about him. I think Arkansas fans are going to like him.
Danny, I saw where Butler Benton, who was Arkansas's general manager for football, left the program. He's been hired by Notre Dame as their director of player personnel, which I'm assuming is the same thing as being a general manager. I love when the college teams now are using the professional terms and just being upfront about this. Is how big of a loss is this, if at all?
Well, I'll tell you this. Everybody I've talked to has always told me Butler did a really good job. I didn't know him that well. We never had to, cross paths too often, but it seemed like he was doing a really good job. But I'll also say, if you can't withstand losing a support staff or these type of roles, then your coaching staff probably ain't very good to begin with. So I think they're going to be fine. I'm sure they'll find a capable replacement for him. But again, it sounds like he did a really good job, or he probably wouldn't be headed to a place like Notre Dame.
Danny, you getting in the turkey woods at all this year?
I'm planning on it, buddy. You know what? Today I'm actually supposed to be headed up to Missouri later this afternoon. Not sure if I'm going to make it. Looking at the weather in northern Missouri, looks like it may rain me out this week, but maybe next week. If
what
I
are they?
Go
are
this
they?
Week.
Are they Easterns up there? Is that what you hunt in Missouri?
Yeah. Yep. That's
Oh.
right. Yep.
How fun!
Yeah, come on up sometimes. We'll get after them, MJ.
Yeah, we need to, man. That's cool.
I'm not very good at calling, so I hope you are.
Oh, my pops is good at calling. We got a little turkey.
Bring him on.
Go ahead, give it a call, Matt. Maybe we'll.
Gobble, gobble. I'll take that, man. That's pretty good, bud.
There's no chalk on it. That's all I had to work with. Yeah.
There's a turkey running at my window right now. My gosh, who knew that would happen?
Well
hey, Danny,
done.
it's good to talk with you. Thank you so much. Let's do this again sometime soon, okay?
Yes, sir. Call me anytime.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Danny.
it.
You got it.
See ya.
Danny West from 24/7 Sports. He must have started drooling at that sound, Matt. I think there were lots of turkey. Go ahead, one more time. Oh man, this is someone who knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
It's
not supposed to be that loud.
Sound.
That's it. They got good hearing. Yeah.
Real subtle little sound, and that's one thing I'm never going to experience because turkey hunting season is baseball season, so it just isn't ever going to happen.
That's why the spring ball just got done. I figured he was getting in the turkey woods because he's kind of got a little break with spring ball. Yeah.
Because that's what you were doing, right? Spring ball over, you're getting out there, right?
That's right.
Okay. Well, it's a good thing we've got the turkey call in the studio. We won't take any turkey calls, but we will take your calls. Stay with us on halftime.
Joe Klein here for Bet Saracen, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app.
You bet it is, Joe, which means Bet Saracen has everything you're looking for. And
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Remember this top 10 hit from 1983? Boy George, I Think You've Got It. It's Church of the Poison Mind by Culture Club. The culture is continuing to poison the minds of our youth by clubbing them with everything but the truth. But when we heed God's word, He gives us the solution to all the gender confusion. The true poison is believing that evil is good and good is evil. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
Get analysis of every play, prop, and point at BetOnline. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to sign up and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Be sure to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV. BetOnline.ag, where the game starts. When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
I was driving through Georgia in late July on a day hot enough to make the devil sigh. I saw a homemade sign written in red, Ryan County Watermelon Festival ahead. Well, I wasn't in a hurry, so I slowed down, took a 2-lane road to a one-horse town. There was a party going on. When I got there, I heard a welcome speech from a small-town man. He said, we got 100 gallons of sweet red wine made from the biggest watermelons on the vine. Help yourself to some, but obey the law. If you drink, don't drive, do the watermelon crawl.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
He's back, still leads, he's gone, and the video means nothing. The Jordan Walsh non-decision video is what I'm calling it. So you got a little bit of time to make your decision and get those texts in at 877-377-6963. BE, no, turkey texting does not work on Halftime today. We'll find a way to, rig the text machine up a little bit that you can turkey text. We've got Brent in Stuttgart on hold. Hi, Brent. How are you?
Hi. What's going on, Phil and Matt?
Yo.
Just listening to a turkey call a moment ago. It's the first time I'd heard that.
Yeah, I heard that. I was watching you on.
There's no chalk.
YouTube.
Yeah, it was all you could do. Is just kind of whatever.
I had to come outside after I heard that call. So
with a shotgun looking for turkeys.
That's right. I got two comments. Okay, first was on the spring game from Saturday. I was impressed. It looked like to me KJ Jefferson had dropped about 25 pounds.
Some of that baby weight, because he does kind of have that Antoine Walker feel to him. Like whenever he quits playing, he's probably going to gain a couple. Like he needs that to stay fit. Yeah, I see that with him. He's got the big bones to him. Yeah,
but he looked real. I mean, he looked like a new person out there, and I was impressed. And I tell you what, you could tell that Matt, you could tell that he's been thoroughly coached on the fundamentals this spring and take some.
He's got a lot of reps, huh? Yeah, he's done a lot of reps. You're right.
And I was really impressed with Isaiah Satanga. Is that how you say the last name? Satanga from Fayetteville.
Yeah, I think
freshman.
you're close enough. Yeah.
Satania.
And Sam Mbake, he looked good, and Tesla looked good to me, and we can run the ball with anybody. That was my takes on that. Hey, Phil, now I've got to pick a bone with you about Razorback baseball, okay?
All right.
Phil, I was at the game Sunday. I was listening to it on my earbuds, and Frank Anderson goes out there to the pitcher's mound one time, and you announced him as the great Tennessee pitching coach, Frank Anderson, okay? And it's time that the baseball writers and prognosticators, we need to start talking about Matt Hobbs and that same ilk as Wes Johnson and Anderson, because what Matt Hobbs has done this year with our pitching staff is unbelievable with the injuries that we've taken on this year.
Well, Brent, I don't know why you feel the need to pick a bone with me, because I've certainly used the word great and Matt Hobbs in the same sentence numerous times.
I know. I wasn't picking a bone with you. I was being funny because we dominated the great Frank Anderson this weekend, correct?
They sure did. And I'll tell you what Frank Anderson's pitchers are not good at. That's holding runners. They're good at throwing sliders and getting strikeouts. They can't hold runners to save their lives.
Did you? I believe, and I ride in a wheelchair and walk on canes. I believe I could have stolen on those catchers.
You'd have had a chance as long as you get a good lead.
Yeah, hey Phil, that would be. I would have to have a good lead. I'd have to have a lead almost to Springdale, but I think I could have made it. But
probably could.
Yeah, and I tell you what, it's incredible the coaching job that Coach Van Horn and the whole staff has done this year, keeping it together for the Razorbacks.
Agreed. And part of that is the recruiting that they've done to where they have guys that were able to step into the void when needed. And you know, Dave told me a long time ago they're good at coaching them up, and that is without a doubt. They're good at coaching them up.
I could not agree more. But Phil, I had one more question. Baseball. How come the great Ahuna or whatever his name was only played shortstop one game?
Maui Ahuna. So I know he's got he had a back issue that caused him to miss a couple of games in the previous series, and apparently, just reading the comments from Tony Vitello to the Tennessee media, the athletic trainer wouldn't let him play the last 2 days. So I think that maybe it's that back issue again. The great Ahuna.
Okay.
Thanks, Brent. It's good to hear from you, man. The great Maui Ahuna, who Bubba called Kahuna on the broadcast.
That was slick, though, and you just transitioned right into it like you've done it before, Phil.
It just led right into, I hear they make a tasty burger. Cecil in Fort Smith. How you doing, Cecil?
Hey, fellas, what's going on? I'm doing all right. Totally blessed.
Doing good. Make sure you turn that radio down.
Oh, yeah. Let me turn it down. Okay. Yeah. I was just thinking about the portal. First, I want to give a shout-out to the Arkansas boys in the NBA, including Monk. He's playing his butt off. That game last night was awesome, totally awesome. And then I would like to say about the portal. I mean, the portal's really great. It's really great because it gives each player somewhere where they can fit in it. But my opinion, and it don't weigh out to nothing, but everybody has one. I think that the portal should be every other year. That way you can give a player time to really think about where they really want to play. Because right now, Walsh is a little confused. And that's all I want to say. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you very much, Cecil.
Cecil, I'm with you in agreement that there's got to be a change to the portal. There's got to be some way. I like the way the baseball does it, where if you're on track to graduate, you're 3 years, whatever. I mean, 3 years to be drafted, but This all willy-nilly, just getting to go to the portal whenever, it's really ridiculous. There has to be something going on to kind of settle it down, I think.
We had a Razorback women's basketball player enter the portal yesterday, and this one came out of left field. Riley Langerman went into the portal. She's sophomore at Oklahoma, hustles her butt off every single game. She's a great example of how to play the game of basketball effort-wise. So that one felt unexpected because she was universally, I think, loved on the team and by the coaching staff and the fans. I'm not sure exactly how she would have fit in to the near future because Mike's got some really good players coming in. It might also be a matter of it might have been difficult for her to find certain minutes here and there. But good luck to Riley Langerman because she gave 100%, 110%, which I don't know that's not even really a thing. But if you can, she did it. She was a lot of fun to watch. So good luck to Riley Langerman. Brought to you by the Bet Saracen app, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app. You want to put any money on the NBA playoffs tonight? Well, have the Bet Saracen app on your phone. It works for Google Android. It works for Apple iPhone. And when you look at the Vegas odds, you got to be in Vegas to bet those odds legally. Arkansas state law prevents the big national apps from operating in our state. So if you want the most accurate and up-to-date sports wagering information and stuff that focuses on your favorite former Razorback athletes, it's on the Bet Saracen app. Just go to betsaracen.com on any web browser or in any Apple iPhone or Google Android. You can download it and use it easily. We'll wrap up halftime after this quick break.
You gotta have something if you want to be with me. Oh, baby. Nothing from nothing.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
Right now, catfish is something special at Calico County. Whether you like it crispy fried, grilled, or blackened, all our catfish is currently available at a special price. They'll cook it the way you like it and serve it with 2 sides and rolls. You can also have their same great fish served on a hoagie roll with slaw and their own remoulade. The Catfish Po' Boy's on special as well. So roll on into Calico County for great catfish at a great price. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue, behind Randall Ford.
As basketball season gives way to baseball, the chill of winter is giving way to the warmth of spring. Now is the perfect time to get your AC system ready for the warmer weather with Pascal. A Pascal Pro tune-up ensures your system is clean and ready to help you stay cool this summer and avoid costly repairs or breakdowns. Right now, beat the summer heat and save $30 off your tune-up. Professional people, professional service, Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Schedule today at gopascal.com.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
The cold and flu seasons are here, and Law's Drug Store has what you need to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all the over-the-counter cold and flu remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointments for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
Greenwood Collision is ready to serve as everyone assesses the damage from the recent storms. They will gladly work with all insurance companies and make the process of getting your vehicle back to new as painless as possible. Greenwood Collision is direct repair for most insurance companies and provides a lifetime warranty on all work. Let them do all the work for you. Call Chris or Joe today at Greenwood Collision at 996-9922 or stop by their location at 2615 West Center Street in Greenwood.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the used car superstore. Last month, Harry completed the biggest used car sale in store history, and now there are dozens of local trades priced to sell fast. Harry has over 200 late model trucks, SUVs, and cars on the lot. Many are low miles with factory warranty remaining. And as always, nobody will give you more for your trade than Harry Robinson. The used car and truck superstore is Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Blue Jean, I just met a girl named Blue Jean. Blue Jean, she got a camouflage face and no money. Remember, they always let you down when you need them. Oh, Blue Jean, this heaven really sweeter than Blue Jean. She got a police bike. She got turned up nose. Sometimes I feel like
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Let's see what's on tap for tonight. We got 3 NBA playoff games. Hawks and Celtics, 6 o'clock NBA TV. TNT carrying the Knicks at the Cavs, and then the Clippers at the Suns. Because I haven't really put on the NBA playoffs yet. I know I missed the big Draymond stomp yesterday that everyone's talking about. And the Warriors come back from down 2-0 against Sacramento.
Well, both the games were on the road. A playoff series doesn't start till a road team wins a game. Yeah, Golden State can win all their home games, so they'll have to steal one there. Mike Brown's a great coach, though. And like Cecil brought up, Malik Monk. Man, I like seeing Arkansas guys do good, and Malik can play. This is Malik's 5th year in the NBA, so this is about how long it takes for that process. 1 year at Kentucky, so 6 years removed from high school basketball. All these kids that want to say, man, I'm just going to go after 6 months. Let's start looking at be a little more realistic about how things go, because Malik Monk's as good as that high school basketball player in the state of Arkansas that you've had. He can go. But then you got the Champions League, Phil. You got Chelsea and Real Madrid coming on
Tuesday
at 5 o'clock, and then AC Milan and Napoli also at 2 o'clock today, both games. So Champions League today and tomorrow.
So are you planting your cheeks on the couch and watching Champions League until the sun goes down?
You got 2 hours leading to it, and then it's golf. You got Champions League from 2 to 4. I live a tough life, Phil. 2 to 4, and maybe eat a taco in there, and play golf till dark.
Damn right, you live a tough life. You got to carry me and Maddie for 3 hours on this midday radio program. I don't
what
know
a
how you
fun
have the
day!
Strength
Oh
to
my
do
goodness.
Yeah, it was good stuff today. Our score for the Jordan Walsh did the video mean he's coming or going? Doesn't. People think it means he's coming back. People think it means he's coming back. We had 13 votes for coming back. We had 6 votes for that means he's gone, and then we had 8 votes that means nothing, that the video meant nothing.
We'll have to find out one of these days. Be like, so who was your art director on that? Who did your clothing? Who picked that out? Who was casting? Who casted that video?
How quickly did you fire the director of your movie? How quickly did you replace the director? How quickly did you turn him into Guy Ritchie? Oh, man. So we'll see what kind of video comes out for the next decision video. Either way, I'm talking to you guys at 5:30 tonight for Arkansas baseball. The Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast coming out soon. And Ruskin and Zach will take you up until the start of baseball in most of these affiliates, and then they stay on hitthatline.com until 7 o'clock. We're with you tomorrow. For Matt Jones, for Matt Travis, I'm Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust